Well, greetings and salutations and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid? It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch, but there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster to enhance your calm, browsing the aisles, picking out a movie by hand, and then getting into your conveyance to go to your domicile and watch. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes who prefer virtual mind sex. Sean Pryor and AJ Vance, how the heck are you?
The other one's too dirty.
We're going there. We might as well just be prepared for it right up front. We're going there. Everybody's got their weird obsessions. Elan's in the office. You know we have cyber trucks. We're gonna have cyber sex.
Right. Well, and joining us today, a special guest who prefers the old-fashioned fluid transfer method, an unbelievably funny comedian and podcaster. You may have seen his stand-up specials or listened to his widely popular podcast, The Dollop, as well as We're Here to Help. Second time on the show, Gareth Reynolds. How the heck are you?
I like the fluids. Give me, I like to feel it. Call me crazy. No, thank you for having me back. I love your new studio, and congrats on the show. It seems to be doing so well.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And I say seems because I don't listen to podcasts.
You don't? You're just a podcast who never listens?
All the time, people are like, what do you recommend? I'm like, asking someone else. I don't know. Mine? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
He doesn't get high on his own supply.
No, I really don't.
They have mics, they have cameras, they have a Logan, and they must be doing all right.
Yeah. Logan travels with us.
Yeah.
It's tough on his family. Family's furious.
We went to your show last night. I honestly got to say it was unbelievable. Like, it was my wife's first night out. Because we just had our second kid.
I called your wife out from a distance.
You said there's a chimp in the room, and that was my wife.
There was a younger gentleman with cat paws on, and so he kind of took the spotlight for the show. But as I was like talking about him, I just did hear a monkey laugh.
She was dying.
And I called out, and then after the show, you came up and you were like, "My wife's the monkey laugher." I was like, "Oh my god, this is awkward."
All she's done for 6 months is sit in a bed with a crying baby. So last night was amazing.
It doesn't make me feel like it's necessarily my material, but a win's a win. So I will take it. It's the fact that she just saw outside of her home. She's like, "This is crazy."
Oh, yeah.
People.
A cadence of comedy that'll work.
We drove here, and now we're in a separate room.
Wow.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Well, and you're on the road for like the next 2 years at this point, right? I mean, you're all over the place.
Pretty legit. Yeah. I kind of have been spending, honestly, like 2 years kind of figuring out the next hour, and have been like just working on bits and then going, I don't think that'll work. It's really weird. I don't think it's been a healthy process, but now I finally am like, okay, I kind of know what I want to do. And so my plan is to record something, in the next 6 months, and then I'll take a little bit of a breather. But no, it's been like, last year was relentless. Last year was just very nonstop. So I want to have like a couple months at home this year at least.
Yeah, hopefully everything's good at home at this point for you.
Yeah, it's
probably weird to be on the road while this is happening.
Oh yeah, crazy. I have like survivor's guilt, like being gone for all the LA fires, and it's crazy. But it is like, part of me is like, well, it's really great that I'm not there. But then part of me is like, what's going on? Like, I'm going to go back because I drive everywhere. I'm going to drive back and drive through it and be like, holy shit. And it's not even done.
No.
I think like everyone there right now is like, that was crazy. And it's like the fire department's like, winds are picking back up. And people are like, that was really close. My house. And it's like, fucking freak out still.
Yeah.
Sustain the freak out for longer than a week if you can. But yeah, it's been crazy and all that shit. But back to me, I thank you for coming. And the show was great. And I deserved all your wife's monkey giggles.
Well, everybody out there, go to GarethReynolds.com, link in the show notes. I mean, he's probably coming near you, and full stamp of approval from us. I mean, that was one of the funniest shows I've seen. It was awesome.
Oh, well, that means a lot. Because like I was saying, I was up there. I was like, how's this going? The ceilings are so high. It's almost like people just like suck the laughs out. But no, it was great. A lot of fun. Really was. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, man.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss a movie that taught us all the meaning of 187 and inspired Dennis Rodman's various hairstyles. This movie gave us one of the highest body counts that we've covered so far on this show, and actor Dennis Leary called it a giant piece of shit. We're, of course, talking about 1993's Demolition Man. Isn't that weird?
I am shocked by that because as I was watching it, I was like, what a win for Leary. I mean, the whole time, I'm like, what a win.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He just he didn't have any like leash on him whatsoever. They just
No,
let him
you
go.
can tell he rewrote a speech of his in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I want to run around the streets naked, okay? You know, you could just tell he like. I thought he had a great role. If I was him at that point of my career, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Was he ever a stand-up comedian? Was
yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
He I don't know if his first album, but his album No Cure for Cancer.
Oh yeah.
Was huge, and I think that kind of parlayed him into the MTV videos, which kind of took him to another level. But Bill Hicks and Bill Hicks fans have a thing with Dennis Leary where they kind of think he, to quote Dane Cook, sort of stole his essence. He sort of stole his style and his angles a little bit. And there was a real sort of when I was young, I mean, you know, real young, like loved No Cure for Cancer.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I was like, oh, you know, there are some very similar thoughts in there. And I think Bill Hicks felt a little ripped off by Dennis Leary. Yeah.
Huh.
God. And his stand-up, yeah.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, we're going to be reviewing this movie scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do it properly, we feel that you've got to talk about it nostalgically first. So, Gareth, we're going to go to you. Tell us the first time you saw Demolition Man, what your nostalgic rating 1 to 10 was on this movie when you were a kid.
I definitely saw it in the theater. I was definitely excited to see it, and I definitely loved it. When I was a kid and I loved a movie, I would buy the soundtrack. And I would be like listening to like the score, and I'd be like, this is probably a purchase made in error. I had the soundtrack, which, you know, it really puts you in rarefied air for 11, 12-year-old Gareth. And I would go 9. I mean, I watched this movie a shitload. I was like obsessed with how
Oh shit. I had a cool bit where I was going to play the thing. Let's just do it. Ready? You said shit.
You are fined one
Damn it.
violation of the parameters.
Yeah, I
What a
should've known.
stupid fucking bit.
It was a great
Goddamn.
bit. The timing fucked you.
Shit.
All right.
Jeez.
But I would go 9. I mean, I love this
Damn.
movie. I like, even when I was rewatching it, I was like, I still know lines from this movie. I remembered so much from this movie. I probably watched this. I'm pretty sure I had it on VHS.
Yeah.
So
All right, 9 for Gareth. AJ, what about you?
This was a TNT watch. Like you saw this. I saw this probably like 12 years old. I don't want to say I was a teenager, so I'm going to say 12 years old. And I was like TNT, like where they had a lot of explosion commercials, and you know,
Yep.
and like lots of explosions, lots of tough guy talk.
the one-liners
You know?
are really still
Oh,
cooking
yeah.
in this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then, but it's kind of the perfect movie for TV syndication because of how much they kind of they don't want you to swear in it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, they also don't have a good way around getting around the swearing. So you're
Oh,
just
right.
like they're finding them for
That's
silly
fun. I
stuff.
didn't think about that.
And so it's really fun. I enjoyed the movie just because I was like Stallone. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Stallone, he's the coolest dude.
Oh,
And-
totally.
And then you had Wesley Snipes, and I'll say it right now, this is my Wesley Snipes.
Whoa.
And I mean, I know that's up for contention here in this room, but yeah, it is. It was great. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say I'm an 8.2.
8.2
Yeah.
nostalgically. Sean, what about you?
Yeah, I saw this on TV like AJ did, but I only saw bits and pieces of this movie. I've never really seen this movie in its entirety at all.
No.
And I'm gonna say that I'm an NA on this because I can't give it that nostalgia rating.
Wow.
If like I haven't completed the entire watch ever until
That's
now.
so surprising to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like this should be like a Jordan Basement movie.
No, yeah.
Like
It should.
it should be, but we never checked it out. We just never got to it. Yeah.
Well, so NA for Sean. For me, like I was pretty excited to get back into this because I know I had seen it like a few times, but it was so long ago. And then when I started watching it, I realized it wasn't Judge Dredd.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
sort of.
Well, I had
for Judge Dredd.
I thought I had seen this movie before, but it turns out I saw Judge Dredd.
Oh, wow.
And so I have never seen Demolition Man either until today.
damn.
Wow.
So this 2 first-time watches today, but nostalgically between AJ and Gareth, that is an 8.6, which of all the movies we've done,
Yeah, but you guys didn't vote, so it's not.
We can't.
I know, but it's
still.
There's an asterisk on this rating. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'd hate to be that guy.
Well,
Exactly.
then, where it lands, you'll at least agree on this. This lands in 24th spot of all the movies we've done, tied with Rookie of the Year.
Oh my god!
So, I mean, like, no
this
asterisk
world
anymore.
you've created is so fucking hysterical.
This is utopia.
It
This
is
our
so
utopia.
funny. For
Yep.
I mean, even just to think of you breaking down Rookie of the, it just must be
Which we did,
insane.
and it was awesome.
I love it. Great
I think
movie.
we calculated how hard he would have to have thrown the ball and the miles per hour to get it from the outfield to center point.
That surgeon. That guy should be known as like Tommy John. It should be that synonymous
yeah.
with Tommy John. He's the guy who
Henry
over
Rodenberger.
elastics your pitch.
Yeah.
He got kids playing in the majors.
Well,
It's a new era of nip tuck.
Yeah.
So it's-
Yeah.
we are going to strip away all that nostalgia we build up. So we're going to start with Sean. Let's learn the important details of the movie before we get on here.
All right, produced by Michael Levy, Howard G. Kazanjian, and Joel Silver. Story
Always.
by Peter Lenkov and Robert Renault. Oh, yeah. Screenplay by Peter Renkoff, Peter Renault, and Daniel Waters. Cinematography by Alex Thompson. He did Labyrinth, Raw Deal, Leviathan, Alien 3, Cliffhanger, Black
course.
Beauty. Music by Elliot Goldenthal. We just saw him on Heat, and he did Public Enemies as well. Edited by Stuart Baird. He did Superman, Lady Hawk, Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2, Casino Royale, and Skyfall. Directed by Marco Brambilla. Just kind of this movie is all he's done.
Yeah.
Really?
Fun.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. I kind of when I saw who directed, I was like, I don't know that.
Yeah, it's like CNC Music Factory music video. He's
Yeah.
super famous
Oh,
for. but
wow.
yeah.
That actually makes sense to me.
That does.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Cast Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, Nigel Hawthorne, Benjamin Bratt, Rob Gunton, Glenn Shaddix, Dennis Leary, Gran L. Bush, Bill Cobbs, Adrian Barbeau, Rob Schneider, and Jack Black. He's
Whoa.
in here for a little second.
Wait, what?
Wait, where's he?
oh,
We'll talk about it.
I think I know.
We'll get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
We'll get there. I promise. Writer Peter Lenkov came to Hollywood with several spec scripts ready to go and sent his script for Demolition Man to Warner Brothers. Lenkov wanted to make a cop film and got the idea from hearing about various celebrities saying they were going to cryogenically freeze themselves to preserve their looks, as well as always hearing the song Demolition Man by Grace Jones and the Police. I couldn't find who
No,
that
so
was
Grace
actually
Jones
by.
originally wrote that song.
Okay.
And then Sting covered it for this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Which everybody was like, we got to have that Sting cover.
And
for
probably
this movie.
on
Yeah.
subsequent greatest hits of the Police, they probably put that on there, so that's
Yes.
why it's credited as Police.
Yeah, right.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Daniel Waters, who wrote the film Heathers, was hired to do touch-ups for the script and wanted the film to be a cross between an action movie and Woody Allen's Sleepers.
Oh wow.
A lot of writers came through this, including Fred Decker, who wrote Monster Squad, or I think he directed Monster Squad.
Oh.
And he added the kind of the L.A. on fire in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And
Yeah, that's-
and the whole explosion scene in the beginning, because he wanted to be like, if you don't see right now, you can't get the most out of Oz. So you can't,
okay.
you want to see Dorothy in her perspective first, and then,
Right.
because you want to
see.
have that
Whereas
build
today you wouldn't need that
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
very simply put out there that everything has fallen apart there.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
We already know
Checks
that.
out.
Yeah.
Checks out.
After failing at developing the film Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin, director Marky Brambilla was suggested to producer Joel Silver by David Fincher, and off the strength of his music video work, he was hired for the film.
Wow.
Originally, this movie was going to star Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Whoa.
Kind
Like Seagal is Stallone?
Seagal would.
Well, that's the that they couldn't quite get it made that way because they both wanted to play the good guy. Neither of them wanted to play.
Let's just have a minute. of
Yeah.
imagining.
Can you imagine it?
Please and thank you.
And it would have been a straight to video kind of
Let's
thing.
try to
if they
raise
did it.
enough money to redo it with Seagal now.
Can we get a deep fake? We need a deep fake budget
Please.
for Seagal and Van Damme.
Here's what we're doing. The movie is the behind the scenes of us convincing Steven Seagal that we're remaking Demolition Man with
That's
him.
the movie.
And the budget is pretty low, and him being like, wait, how am I? We're just going to pour a bunch of ice in a bucket, and you get in it, Steven. And you crawl out of it naked.
kind of like cold plunging nowadays, but it's
like a
futuristic.
cold- and his hair dye's just running down his face. It looks crazy. You're fine, Steven. It's great. We'll remove the hair dye sweat from. Yeah, you're Giulianiing. We love it.
This Just for Men is just
Yeah.
getting wrecked
Yeah.
by this, and this like him going to him. Can you imagine? Can we imagine a present day Steven Seagal just in the ice cube of just
Steven, stop moving, Steven.
Steven, you're frozen.
I'm actually genuinely freezing. Steven,
You're frozen.
we can sort of see the tip of your penis. Can you move your top leg a little more over it, Steven?
We don't want to see it.
I'm
Okay.
pretty proud of it. I'm having a good day today, so if we could just photograph this, it'd be great.
Steven Seagal having a good dick
I
day.
should be able to find the machine when it finds me. Steven, listen. Take your ego out of this scene, okay?
What if
Steven.
impossible?
And it's
Steven.
like, they want to
He-
freeze him, but he's always got the same look on his face.
Yeah,
Never just like,
yeah. See, Steven, don't eat Don't eat while you're in the cryo tank. You can see that? Yeah, just hold on a minute. All right, let me finish the rest of this.
When do I flip this ice cube over my body?
Yeah.
When does the ice cube try to attack me and I flip it over my body?
I think we already got the movie. Like, I think that's it.
And
That's
the end
it.
is just like us quitting the film business.
And then, and then the last piece of enticing him is we did convince Van Damme to be the bad guy.
Oh, yes.
See, and I think that would be the selling
And
point
then you
to
have
him.
them wear the sexual helmets. I don't understand this. Well, you guys are. This is sort of you're having a bit of a treaty moment, Steven. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just act like you're having a great time. with
Now
each
just
other.
imagine, picture a woman, obviously.
Just
Nothing gay for you, Steven.
No, we wouldn't do that, dude.
Yeah, good
just
Lord.
imagine you're on a Zoom call, okay? And then it's like I've never been on a Zoom call. Exactly. Just
I'm used to sexually
pretend.
assaulting in person. Steven, okay?
Can't say stuff like
Tone
that.
it way down, Steven, because we are rolling.
we have lawyers on set, don't we? Jesus.
Come on, good Lord.
When they eventually did get Sylvester Stallone, he wanted the bad guy to be played by Jackie Chan because he was a huge fan of Jackie Chan.
They just referenced it in the movie.
Yeah,
instead,
exactly. But they didn't quite get him because Chan he was like kind of pigeonholed as the bad guy in a lot of the Asian cinema that he did, and then he also was like kind of tainted from doing American films because they just didn't do that well. At this point, anyway, he'd obviously become a huge superstar, but they wanted Wesley Snipes to replace him, and he didn't want to do it at first either. So they kind of just went to the set of I think it was not Under Siege. They went to the set of one of his films and just convinced him that way. They're just like, we want you really bad. So they just gave him the script and he accepted. He hated his haircut in this movie, which is funny because he would get it again in Blade,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Sandra Bullock, they originally had Lori Petty as Huxley in this, and they filmed for like 2 days, but she didn't get along with Steven Seagal. Or sorry,
Steven was still there.
yeah.
Steven, dude, why are you even here? I just want to make sure. Is that crazy for me to show up even though I'm not in this?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it
very
literally is. It's
Yeah,
literally nuts.
We're not paying you.
We aren't paying for your presence here.
I'm taking a lot of Chex Mix home with me. Steven. Jesus Christ, Steven. This is sad.
Just let him stand next to the catering table. It's fine.
It's fine.
He doesn't
In
eat as
an
much as you think.
He's in an open kimono. Steven. These enchiladas are for anyone? Let's let the crew eat last. Steven.
You stop pulling. Where are you getting these baggies from your kimono?
Steven.
You're visibly wet.
Yeah,
Can you please leave?
why are you so sweaty?
Why are you holding a goldfish in a bag? I was at the fair last
I was at the fair. I won
Steven,
it.
You're covered in ketchup.
I won it at the fair.
Lori Petty didn't get along with Sylvester Stallone, so
Say it-
Sandra
all right.
Bullock came in and killed this role.
That was her first.
Yeah.
Is it her first film?
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
It's-
Speed is 94.
Yeah.
so
this got her speed, right?
Yeah, she became a superstar after Speed for sure.
Yes, she's
And-
very good at driving things. Like I'm
Yeah.
driving things, and
She is great in this
She
movie.
does it great.
Took
It's
a
a
dip with
gr-
Speed too, but you know,
It's a great bit. Well, I don't want to jump ahead. Sorry.
you're good.
Well, it's a great bit they have with. I kept thinking that of like her obviously her being obsessed with the era that he's from is a great thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
But her joke of always almost getting the phrase right is like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
It is.
It's just such a good little vehicle for a character.
Normally,
sells it so well.
And
Yeah.
normally that doesn't work for me for some time. Like it just feels cheesy.
Yeah.
But I think it's the way she actually says it.
Yeah, she's great.
There's such an innocence about it
Yes.
that even though like what she's saying is somehow more derogatory than like what the actual saying is.
Lick
Like,
my ass.
it's- yeah.
Let's blow these guys.
And it's like let's blow these guys, and it's just like
away.
blow them away, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like she's not even bothered by it's like how disgusting. Somehow it's better. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Demolition Man was released on October 8th, 1993, and on a budget of $77 million, the film made $159.1 at the box office and has gone on to become a major cult classic and a lot of Stallone fans' favorite of his work. That's all I got.
I'm surprised it only made that much.
Yeah.
It feels like a bigger film to me.
This was the middle of that period for Stallone where he was just churning them out.
Yeah.
And I think people were like,
Well, they made Cliffhanger like right after this. In fact, like the special features of like Cliffhanger of them interviewing Stallone about Cliffhanger, he's in the costume of like the SAFPD or
so
SAPD.
fucking funny. That is. Yeah, I don't have time to even change.
I can't even.
Can't take your shirt. Can you take your beret off? No. Steven Seagal's in the background. Do you need me for this? This is not for you.
Should I be Can I be a stunt double?
I'll
You don't
sit-
look anything
I'll
like.
sit next to him.
yeah,
Why?
listen to this. It was Rocky 5 in 90, then it was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, Judge Dredd, Daylight, Get Carter.
So he's
yeah,
real.
I mean, he's just
this
churning
sort
them
of
out.
seems like the bright spot in that shit run.
I think so. Yeah. The
This
don't-
and Judge Dredd.
Or Cliff.
Well, Cliffhanger, God, man,
Cliffhanger
we
was
did
a- was a-
Cliffhanger, and it's
That opening of Cliffhanger
Yep.
is kind of all of it, really, and it's
Yep.
worth it. That
Yeah.
opening, when
Completely.
you watch that, you're like, no, no, no.
I-
The way they milk that.
Oh.
And then the hand loosens a little bit more.
Yeah. I have to tell you right now, because one of the things that we got stuck on with Cliffhanger for sure was the fact that like they were talking about it like, oh, we're still having dinner tonight, right, guys? And then like the fall happens, and the fact that probably after that they had to call about their dinner reservations.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they're just
Yeah.
like, we need to change it from 4 to 3.
We're trying
Ready
to
to
find
cut.
a fourth, but we might not be able to get a replacement.
I know having a hard time right now.
Yeah, we don't need the booth anymore.
We don't need a booth. You could
We
do it.
don't need the booth. You could do a four top.
If you want, you can move us to a 2-top table and just
Ideally,
make a
we
third
still
seat.
have the booth. But if you guys are swamped, it's okay.
a Friday. It's a Friday
We
night.
know it's Friday 8 p.m. We don't want to take that away from our server. I'm sorry, we lost it today.
Well, up next we got to go to AJ. We got to learn about the critics and the fans and what they thought about this movie. What do you got, man?
We don't have a sound bite, so I'll
Nope.
just leave this a little bit lower key. But Gareth Reynolds, you are fined 1 credit for violation of the tomato meter statute.
Got him.
Got
there
him.
it is.
We
That's
got
it.
him.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. 64% on the tomato meter, the Rotten Tomatoes.
64% of all the movies we've done, that ties with Running Man and Grumpy Old Men. A lot of movies with man
A
in
lot
it.
of man. Demolition Man. Okay,
They're all
sure.
there.
Yeah.
64%.
This is a great double feature with Running Man, I gotta say.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
Holy hell.
Am
want
I
that.
am I incorrect in hearing that they're actually remaking
I've
Running
heard
Man?
they
Edgar
are,
Wright.
yeah.
Edgar Wright's making it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Running
I can't
Man
wait.
is. So, have you done that one?
Yes.
That I watched that within the last year, and the opening, the writing at the opening, I was like, well, that's interesting. That seems pretty prescient, doesn't it?
Let's see. We got the esteemed popcorn meter, as they decided to call it now. 67% for the popcorn meter. That's viewer reviews, and then 6.7 over on IMDb. So
So it's very roughly a D.
it's pretty much
across the board, for the
right.
most part, yeah.
We are very much in the school of like, if you're a 7, it's a good movie.
Yeah, right.
But if you're anything below a 7 on IMDb, oh, you are the worst garbage potentially.
Yeah,
As far as movies go.
yeah.
There are some critics here. The maybe most trusted resource in movie reviews, TV Guide magazine, gave us a 75 out of 100. The pleasant surprise about Demolition Man is that both the script and Stallone are funny. The film blends big-budget action and tongue-in-cheek humor in the way that Last Action Hero tried and failed to do. Bold statement. We've also got, let's see, Peter Travers, Rolling Stone.
Loves everything.
He does.
Literally.
He's a man who enjoys things.
Yes.
And Demolition Man, apparently, though, he did not like Demolition Man.
Crazy. He had to do that every now and then.
Yeah. So he's like, I guess I'll throw it away with the Demolition Man.
Yeah.
It's fine. 25 out of 100.
Damn.
Yeah. Demolition Man is sleek and empty, as well as brutal and pointless. It's like good, bad, good, bad. And I'll give you one more here. Jonathan Rosenbaum. He sounds like he should be critiquing like Michelin star restaurants. 20 out of 100. Nearly all the special the scene premises are accorded the status of Andrew Dice Clay one-liners, which means that they, along with all the characters, keep changing from one scene to the next, and I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I guess.
The life of a critic is so bizarre.
Isn't it
Pretty
weird?
easy to
Yeah.
follow.
I mean, honestly, it's like at any point. Oh no! Well, obviously, Stallone's motivation is just totally. It's like, what are you talking about?
Do they do that for like comedians and comedy shows at all? Do they ever do you ever get write-ups of like a guy in a city paper that went and saw your show?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff. I mean, but the thing about stand-up is it's very, like, do you connect with the? It's pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? Whereas like the writing of like movies or like a narrative, you definitely are allowed to shred it and shit like that. But like this movie, I'm like, you don't get it?
Yeah.
Like what
I don't
fuck?
get
It's
it.
very straightforward. Like you might be like, it's too easy.
Yeah.
There's definitely some stuff in there. There are some leaps and things like that in there, obviously. So you're not like, oh yeah, it's the perfect movie. But to be like, I'm a little lost.
Not following.
What is Sandra Bullock going for now?
I feel like once you get to the 3 seashells, you're like, oh, this movie knows what it's doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got
right.
it. I got it.
Very good. Yeah, that's a good
3
point.
seashells sticks with you for life.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I literally like even in not having seen the movie in 15 years, I was like, what were they doing?
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one's a scraper for your ass.
Obviously.
And the second one, but the third one must be very spongy. I was like, this is a very that's
about
the
it?
key shell of the seashells.
The third shell is like a bar of soap.
Yeah, what is the third shell?
Yeah, and are you considered like foul if you're not using all 3? It's kind of like, is that the equivalent of like not washing your hands after the
Yes.
urinal?
It could be. It could
You
be
know
a
what I
cleanup
mean?
shell. Absolutely.
See, all right, that's good. Yeah, I've got like a couple other little reviews here, guys, from viewers. This is an 8 out of 10, an explosive action thriller from none other than Die Hard 3. That was their username in 1998.
Huh.
I don't think Die Hard 3 had come out yet. I really enjoyed this movie. It is about a tough cop and a tough criminal who are frozen from 95 to the year 2032, or a similar time slot. Ultra-violent criminal Simon Phoenix as Wesley Snipes escapes is completely nonviolent. Into a completely nonviolent world. This consists of great chases, occasionally great laughs when things of the future seriously puzzle Spartan, like this 3 seashells. There you go.
This was me.
Oh,
I was
Yeah.
3 until
no,
it came out.
I knew
I
it.
got a cease and desist. And then I went with Gareth.
I thought it was just like movies commenting on other movies.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But,
And by the way, Demolition Man hated Die Hard 3, so this is very interesting.
be fucked
This is very interesting.
there was a feud.
This
and
is
it
very interesting.
turns out this is why the Demolition Man didn't get a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movies would get along with other movies and be friends
that's
with? That's a
great.
really fun
that
conversation.
you could do that. Movie roomies.
Yeah, movie room.
Movie roomies. Okay, Breakfast Club and Fight Club. Would they hit it off?
Would they?
I think they would. And hold on.
I disagree.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. Your side podcast that you guys hate doing eventually. Christ. Movie Roomies is for Patreon. We hate it. All right, turn it on, boys. Turn it
Sign
on. Let's see.
Let's see it.
It's
Let's
like
see
the
it.
real world.
Yeah.
Will they get along?
Yeah,
Will they
yeah,
not?
6 movies.
Oh my god.
Predicting the friction. What is this side podcast? It's really bad. Movie Roomies.
Roomy movies.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Roomy movies.
I just really enjoyed like reviews that are incredibly generalized. Like the climax at the end is good.
Yeah, that review
storyline is
not
good.
really much of a review. It's
Yeah.
like, here's what happened.
Yep.
It's like
6 out of 10.
No.
hey, here's a terrible synopsis, and then a generalized feeling about it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm
thanks.
ChatGPT in 1993.
This says the acting is average and the effects are good. 8 out of 10. It's like that sounds more like a 6 to 7. I don't know.
Anytime you use the word average, I don't think you should go above a 7.
No.
Yeah, right.
No.
Average 9.
9.5.
Crusader 2 gave it a 4 out of 10. Hopefully not meant to be serious, is the title of this. If Stallone used this film to cartoon his former show up and destroy everything films, it's not too bad. What? If this movie was meant to be serious, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is very much the comments section.
Yeah.
You know, where
You
you're
got
like,
it.
something's going on with you. Mm-hmm. This isn't about my little clip here. You you have deep-seated issues with Portland that go beyond my little joke.
This feels personal for you,
Yeah.
not really, and you just happen to stumble upon this in the algorithm.
Yeah.
You think the Shire in Lord of the Rings is like the Midwest of the United States? You're dumb.
You're a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, it is. It's like that's the thing. It's like reviews, like, yeah, they weren't right, but at least you're like, look, there's like a few single voices.
Yeah.
Now you're like, what the hell's happening in this comments section where someone else is like, that's not what I was saying. I was pretty fucking clear in the original comment. Reread the comment. You're like, guys,
Hey,
enough.
take a chill, fella. all right?
This
Save
word
it.
was all caps.
Yeah.
You see?
This word was all caps.
Do you understand?
Do you understand?
We do have somebody in from our little Lebowski.
All right.
We got time for that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Wes Clark, I want to give you that little shout out in our
Thanks for your service.
exclusive. That's right. Exclusive service in our exclusive Discord for the exclusive Patreon for the whatever. Wes Clark, thanks, man. This movie is my favorite Wesley Snipes movie. My dad, my brother, and I would watch this all the time. I try to watch it at least once a year. Simon Phoenix is one of my favorite bad guys. Action scenes are amazing. Dialogue is unforgettable. I can't tell you how many times I actually whistle the Jolly Green Giant song they play in Taco Bell while I'm working.
I mean, listen as isolate that comment and tell me you don't want to watch this movie.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I mean, the Taco Bell scene,
The Taco Bell scene.
sung by Dan Cortese.
You read that and you're like, what?
Yeah, you're like, all right, I will watch it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fine.
man.
Jeez.
He says the future they show seems possible as well. I honestly thought we would have those styrofoam cars by now.
I honestly, I could hang out with this person and talk about this movie.
I'm saying.
That is exactly how I feel. I was even then and even now. I'm like, have we even tried the foam in the car, or are
haven't
we
even
just
tried
shutting it down because we don't like the movie?
Jeez. Like,
Good Lord, we're doing self-driving. Let's foam a couple.
yep, somebody definitely has the rights to this. They're just holding it back. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Well, guys, I think it's time to start the scene-by-scene breakdown of Demolition Man. Why? Because I suddenly feel the need to, okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas, drinking a banana broccoli shake, singing, I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener. You want to live on top? You got to live the Mike Schulte way. What he wants, when he wants, how he wants. Your other choice? Start your own fucking podcast. Maybe starve to death. Here we go.
Whoa.
Roomy movie.
Jesus. It's called Roomy
Start
Movies.
Roomy movie.
Trademarked, okay? Scene 1. In 1996, psychopathic criminal Simon Phoenix kidnaps a busload of hostages, takes refuge in an abandoned building. LAPD Sergeant John Spartan mounts an unauthorized assault to capture Phoenix, and he raids the building, confronting Phoenix, who sets off explosives to destroy it. Both men are sentenced to lengthy terms in the city's cryo-penitentiary. I want to tell you that watching this movie kind of gives me hope for our future.
Oh boy,
Because think about think about this.
dark start.
So this is 1993, but they're pretending it's 1996.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies in the early 90s, like whatever was going on in the early 90s, made everybody think that the future was going to be so bad and so terrible. Think about they all kind of looked slowly into the future. We're like, LA's going to be a war zone. It's going to be like, there's going to be fucking guns going off and fire. It's like, it didn't really happen in the future we went on. It's 35 plus years later, and we haven't really gotten to that point yet. So the way I feel about, oh man, the future for my kids is gonna be crazy. Maybe there's hope. Maybe we've always felt this way.
Last time you were in LA, Mike, just to be
a year ago.
okay. All right.
Just trying to be sure.
Okay.
I wrote this before.
changed.
I was gonna say.
I wrote this before I saw the news. Okay?
Can I just say, now, ever since Sean started in his details about things, realizing how poorly timed this movie really was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was.
For us to like throw this out to you and be like,
I was watching it, going like, "Oh, this is really weird. It's a weird little experience."
"Oh,
I'm
this
having
is
here."
meta."
And
It's-
very much so.
It starts with the Hollywood sign on fire, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was absolutely. I was like, yeah, that's interesting.
Which they kept sharing that kind of false info. There was
Yeah.
the picture of the
Yes.
Hollywood sign.
Yes.
It's nearby. It's not on fire, but
Yeah.
here's a rendering of what it would look like. It's
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yes.
I was thinking about this though too, and like when they give these kind of context things and they're talking about this helicopter's going over and they're in the helicopter, they're discussing everything that's going on, and like for it to just like kind of start out very dystopian and like the Hollywood sign is
Yeah.
on fire
Yeah.
like that. But at the same time, I'm like, in this world, I'm talking about just the movie, okay? In this world, is this sign always on fire?
Oh, that's a
Did it-
nice
like-
addition.
It's like
That could be a nice addition.
could be.
It's like the tire
Olympic
pile.
flame?
Yeah, or that.
It
yeah.
just is always going.
Like a restaurant with their
JFK's grave.
sign.
It's like it's like the tire fire in
We
Springfield.
took
It
the
never goes out.
JFK grave technology and we put it on the Hollywood side.
Yeah,
It might be a good
The
memorial.
eternal flame.
and they're like, you know what? We think it's symbolic.
That
you
would
know,
be
the
great.
symbology.
You could probably win mayor of Los Angeles with that being one of your strongest pit. That would be the Trump version of like mayor of LA. We're gonna light it on
We're gonna
fire.
light it.
always going to be.
Let them know this is a hot town. We're one of the
It's a hot town.
hot town. Hollywood's
town.
back. Okay.
Hollywood.
Do you? It's just like such poor timing for that decision to be made.
I know. It's
You want to do what to the Hollywood sign?
We're gonna put it in flames the whole time. We have a crew. Look, I've done this before. I've got a guy. He's a pyrotech. This guy, the sign will be blazing so that every time people fly, they know to respect the town. And keep your distance. It stops these hikers. Everyone wants a picture with the sign.
Oh my
Get
God.
them out.
You got my vote.
Get
you
the
got my
hikers
vote.
out of here. They're hiking. The coyotes are up. I don't mind if they die up there, but I do think there's value to all human life.
Whatever. I'm not getting
It's
anywhere
called
with this guy.
Maha. It's called Maha.
we're putting an end. We're putting an end to the coyotes and the hikers and the
Okay.
squabbles.
Both kinds of coyotes, by the way. They're all up there. Animal and mules.
Smugglers.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, we're on to something again. We are on to something again.
Think
Is
so.
is somebody writing these things down?
I've got a running list.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Send a maniac to catch one. Fuck yeah, dude.
We just-
Already, you're like, what? Is this the greatest movie ever made?
Great to say that before you jump out of a helicopter.
And yelling, Phoenix!
Phoenix is such a bizarre choice. By the way, you know that was ADR too. They were like, "Can we just get one?" Like
Please?
he's in the studio, like Phoenix. Let me do one more. Let me do one more. I think I timed that wrong. Phoenix. That could work.
Let me jump from like 10 feet up real quick. And,
Yeah.
just, like, and then do it.
Can we get a soundstage?
Yeah. it's a $10 million day to shout Phoenix. It's like,
need to actually
we are really starting to cut into a budget we don't have. Hold on, let me get another one. Get the orchestra here. They don't play, but I just want to know that.
I want to know.
Phoenix! All right, there we go.
Go Bill Cosby.
He's in his Judge Dredd outfit. Jesus Christ, Sly.
Well, I
Run.
got
Spread
film,
quite thin right now.
You gotta stop.
I'm clocked in, technically.
I mean, him like he like throws his arsenal. Like I just think about like what's he gonna do? What's he gonna take? He's got and basically, if I remember correctly, he just cocks a pistol, puts it in the back of his pants, and then like throws a duffel bag of bungee rope that's halfway about, and then he jumps the entire length. And I just think that bungee cord doesn't really snap or anything. It
doesn't.
doesn't. It's just like a tight rope. I'm like, oh, he's dead now.
Also, why
Yeah, no,
cock
you're
the gun
dead.
before the jump?
Yeah, it seems.
Let's get this as close to firing as possible.
Gotta save a millisecond.
Put it up my ass, and then I'll give a big jerk with the rope.
They implying like as what the tension point that it gets, like that's when he just releases, so he like saves himself.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's
The laws of physics don't apply because then he jumps straight down the elevator shaft and straight down, but then all of a sudden has lateral momentum into the glass.
That part was tough.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
By
That
the
part
way,
was tough.
The door opens out into the elevator shaft.
It does. Wait, like a door? Are you kidding me?
Into the elevator shaft.
That's what they should have ADR'd that in. Like, this building was designed horribly. That'll make sense. We're gonna lose architects with some of this
I was
stuff.
gonna say he's commenting on the architecture. He's like, somebody should do something about this in the future.
This place should have been condemned for how it was built. But hey, I'm a maniac too.
Did you guys hear the theory that this is in the same world as Back to the Future?
No.
Oh
So
my God.
it's very subtle. It's very subtle. But assuming that Biff Tannen stole the almanac and went back in time and created that alternate 1985 where shit was like lawless.
Yeah.
That lawlessness spread all throughout California. And this is the continued alternate dimension.
That is that. While that theory does hold water, it's also like, okay, so like 2 movies around the same time are shitty.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Think about it. There's the
Think
Hollywood
about it.
sign's on fire, man.
It's very Hill Valley.
A lot of motorcyclists.
Yeah, right, yeah.
A lot of motorcycles.
A lot of motorcycles out there.
What do we think of Wesley Snipes as Simon Phoenix?
I mean, go ahead, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, I told you earlier, got it out of the way. This is my Wesley Snipes. And then at the same time, and I didn't even really think about that, like especially like younger. I thought about him and Dennis Rodman, but never like like there was inspiration from either one or whatever. But this is him being that kind of wacky guy, like wacky sadistic, is the very fun like Wesley Snipes that I enjoy.
I agree.
I don't know.
I think so too. And then I think throughout the movie, like, he has to talk to himself a lot.
Yeah.
Which is really hard, and like he does a good job of that. You know what I mean? Like personal commentary when he's in the gun museum and stuff. Yeah, where he's like, what do they do? You know, it's just like that's kind of difficult to play off yourself.
Yeah.
But it is. He's great. I mean, I remember when I was a kid thinking it was awesome, and it is just it's very good.
He looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to watch.
And the fact that isn't he like a black belt in like jiu-jitsu or something? The fact that he looks like he is kicking ass makes it so much better to me.
Yeah.
Because you watch Seagal, you watch Stallone, you're like, yeah, okay, but like he is a
Seagal.
badass. Like, yeah.
I just can't.
Steven, your kimono came open again.
I just want you guys to know, all I want to do is keep putting Seagal in scenes.
Oh yeah.
So you're welcome for me
Thank
not
you very
doing
much.
that all the time.
Well, now I'm just picturing Jean-Claude Van Damme as Simon Phoenix.
I know.
It would be incredible.
This is a gun museum for other pistols and weapons. All right, John, just the script.
Where are the guns?
All right.
What?
My buddy always had this joke about how in every movie they had to write something about how he was raised in Belgium. Like they had to put that in the script, so he'd be like, "My father in Belgium had that gun museum near his house."
We visited frequently.
Like to make you be like, "Oh, that's why he has it." You can't just have a movie where he's like got an accent. Like I was trained in Germany to fight. That's where my voice come from.
The Simon Phoenix's character is so great though too, like because he is so fun and he is so over the top, and even like how he baits him into the, he's getting arrested. And he's like, I told him it was full of that, and he said he didn't care. And like the fact that they believed him and that they were literally just like, yeah, you caught him, but anyway, you're going to jail. And I mean, he said he thermal scanned the whole place, which kind of comes to fruition. He says, I did a thermal scan. I didn't see any bodies.
If you're paying attention to that story, it is actually well thought out.
Yeah.
How they get both of them to be cryogenically frozen. And how later in the movie they pull that thread back is very good.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I like the second time watching it. Well, first time watching it, those kinds of bits, I was like, wait, okay, this is just a stupid movie and fun. And then the second time, I'm like, oh no, wait, they did figure this out. Like it all kind of came in.
It's the stuff that when you are writing like a movie is very hard to get right. Like even if you don't like the movie, it is well crafted and the story is good, like it's well thought out.
It's properly set up for
right.
us to just kind of buy in and be good with it rather than overthink it.
Yeah.
And like and get caught up in that of like,
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It could have very easily been like they could have just said you're freezing him. I should go under too.
Just in case.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to
Oh,
make
yeah, I
sure.
mean-
and that would have been like, what a letdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Put me
yeah.
right next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always want to keep an eye on him. So freeze me right
Put
there.
us in the same block.
He's
You
like,
sure?
Yeah.
One cube, two dudes. Two dudes, one cube.
he's just always like in the cube. He's just like,
Let me spoon
Keep it
him.
in
I
eye.
want to spoon him.
What are you, Spartan? Are you?
Come on.
I never want to be without his touch.
Let us be naked 69 in the cube.
All right, John. We're doing your own cube.
No.
Look,
We entertained it for
so
a
you
minute.
guys
want to
be a yin yang in the cube? What is going
Put
on
us
here?
in a horse costume. I'll be the butt.
What are you?
I'll be the butt, he the head.
No.
Bring
no.
it up the
All
rear.
right, well, whatever. Then we spoon.
All right.
Hugging.
Jesus, man. Okay.
Have us hugging.
Didn't you guys think that like cryo-prisons would be a thing by now? Like,
I mean,
how have we not figured that
Where
out?
will the firefighters come from? Can't do that. That's labor.
That's actually very true.
Good
yeah.
Lord.
Well, yeah, I mean, like as much as like everything is well set up, you do have to kind of get over things like the barrels of gas saying C4. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then in 1996, that we do have cryogenic labs.
Yeah. So they were assuming that in 3 years we will have developed cryogenic because
Well, and also that we stick with it in the year 2030. That we're like, and that was perfect.
Yeah.
And
we
don't
nailed that.
We're still doing that little program.
Same
like,
building,
we don't
same
have
building.
anything else.
If it ain't
same
broke,
building,
Actually, wait.
Same building.
Wait, so they froze them in 96, but then the earthquake happened in 2010,
That must have been tough.
which by the way like killed everyone and destroyed their city.
Well, not the cubes.
Yeah, how's the
They're
facility
just like
still there?
almost all thought, we got to
Hurry
refreeze
up.
them. This is going to be a shit show.
Oh,
We don't refreeze. I mean, we were talking about 100 of the worst killers of
Oh
all time who are going down to, I mean, they're almost out.
Boy, this was a really good idea in hindsight, huh? It's just like,
Oh,
God.
shit.
Thankfully, we built it underground. Underground?
Oh, Christ.
crowd. And then, by the way, I also just have to think about this now, and I'm not saying like it was or that it is, but now we're literally saying that this is where Austin Powers came from. This is just Austin Powers, guys.
We are.
This is
Oh shit! So
Austin
he was
Powers
in the
is
same facility.
Demolition Man. Yeah.
Oh no!
Just in the distance. Oh,
that would
did you hear that?
that would have been a fucking
That's another
awesome
deep-
cameo.
What's that?
Sorry, that was another evil genius that escaped, and he had
is
to
a
thought
be-
another
that's a better
pursuer.
pitch than the Back to the Future.
It is. It is. Yes.
Give me that. So Austin Powers was awesome.
What if they're all three the same?
They're all.
Like in the background, I was like, "Where's my mojo?"
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, baby. What the
Will
hell
you
was
close
that?
that door? Close that
The
door.
hell was that?
When was Austin Powers? When was that first movie?
uh,
99. Oh shit!
Yeah.
It would have just been so awesome if Demolition Man had done like the shower scene of the conveyor belt,
just
and
hear
that
the
was
pee.
Demolition Man.
What is that? One of our other thaws is pissing right now. Don't worry about that, Spartan.
Don't worry about him. Well, let's go on to scene 2 then. So in 2032, the city of San Angeles is a seemingly peaceful utopia designed and run by Dr. Raymond Cocteau. Phoenix is thawed for parole hearing and escapes. He makes his way into the city where he overpowers and kills several police officers who've never had to deal with violent crime. Lieutenant Huxley suggests their best chance to stop Phoenix is by unthawing Spartan, who is the only one equipped to deal with him. Chief George Earl agrees to pardon Spartan and reinstate him. Did you guys make a list of all the things? Anytime there's a futuristic movie, I love seeing what they got right and wrong. Because this is like, they're predicting almost, it's 2025. Like,
yeah.
I made a list. I might not have got them all. They got self-driving cars. They got Siri, like talking to a computer voice. iPads and FaceTimes.
Yep.
Electric cars. Lights on, like talking to Alexa, turning the lights on.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger in politics.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't get the president part right, but
Yet.
even when he goes, there's a when he goes to his domicile, there's a vertical screen instead of a horizontal screen.
Right. Yeah.
Like everything's moving towards vertical video.
Right.
But I only got 2 things for wrong. I'm sure there's more. Everyone having their own like iPad at the conference table is kind of weird. Like we have Zoom and we can put everybody's faces in it instead of everyone having their own.
Yeah.
But when Rob Schneider, who we will talk about, when he answers the phone, he said he's giving them a human response and saying, if you want an automated response, press 2.
Oh God.
We are the complete opposite. We're
that
like,
would
no,
be
here's
so great.
automated. Do you want to talk to a
Go
customer?
through hell and then you get a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know what we were going to be. No, but that is very true. And they also, like, there are places I've seen where they do have individual faces on things, so you do feel like you're at a meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Not like
Zoom
necessarily
meetings.
just like that, but it's
They
like
turn and stuff.
my buddy had his face on an iPad when he wasn't at the office on a robot, and he could move.
Are
the
you
robot.
kidding
I swear
me?
to God.
Oh wow.
He was like running TBS at the time, and I was like, I was like, how do you feel comfortable with this? He's like, it's a joke. I was like, I don't think everyone is picking up on your humor.
Not
with your-
everyone gets the
Yeah,
joke.
like some people are like, hey, that's really annoying.
Can you
But he
imagine?
was like, yeah.
Can you imagine feeling like you have to, like you're just like,
Yeah.
because of an iPad?
robot?
Yeah.
Because an iPad
I was
went.
like, shit, my boss. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my boss.
Yeah,
Don't-
it's fine. He lives in North Carolina, but he works in Hollywood.
It's pretty cool, though. I think
yeah,
they
I
did a
agree.
good job.
Yep.
It would have been weird watching this in '93 and going, oh, geez, the future, like. But now we're kind of like, yeah, duh. It doesn't feel that far off necessarily.
No, there's a lot of it that does, especially the car stuff, like
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
But the humanity feels very far off.
Oh, the humanity's
Yeah.
gone.
this is
Yeah.
this is completely different.
No,
This is a
you're-
different world.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Daniel Waters, the writer, he said that like there's not a lot of films that like came out like they were like this movie. They were action movies made like the like in the beginning they made that dystopia look like it was totally awful, and then the utopia was like the greatest thing ever. He was like, I want to still have the dystopia looking awful, but the utopia I want it to be like so far-fetched and so like off, but like he called it too. Like he wanted to kind of like make the utopia a little dystopia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's and it's comedically very good. It's like they really like even when they're turning on the radio and they're listening to jingles, like it's such a bizarre decision, but it's so fucking funny to be like they listen to old jingles and that's the #1 song.
And they're
in there.
genuinely having the best time of their life.
Yeah.
They're so happy listening to that song.
Yes. Like it is a little like they make the utopia so stupid, but you're also I don't know. It is
Yeah.
very. It's a lot of comedic takes into that
It's
that I think works.
Yeah, it does. And the idea of bringing him into this, he's the caveman. It's Encino Man.
A lot of
Basically
people think it's
Encino
the
Man.
same world. I don't mean to keep.
I don't mean to.
doing that.
Turns out we're gonna mix that one in. here, too.
Encino Demolition Man. I mean, come
Hey,
on.
they're both men.
By the way, that movie in England was called California Man.
Yeah, because they're like,
Oh
They were
yeah.
like, nobody will understand. They'll be lost. They
Encino.
can't figure out a city.
Insano Man.
Insano.
It's insane. Do you understand? Sorry, go ahead.
Michael Caine just said, "Insane man."
Insane, man.
Insane man.
Insano
It's like-
California Man.
No, I love like him just being baffled by it though too is kind of like it is his reactions to it. Oh, there were jingles for you back then, but they're our favorite songs now, and he's just like, put a gun to my head.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing. I'm sorry, I can't drive. I can't I knit now. Like I am, and just watching him. Stallone might be the best person to have this being played against. I
Oh,
guess.
definitely. And like
It's pretty great.
if like their favorite songs or jingles, it's like it's Brat season. Charlie XCX just came on, and it's like what?
Yeah.
Like
That would be your
'Cause they're-
dystopian
yeah.
future.
Well, no, but
Well, because you do have you do think about it in in 30 almost 40 years from now, we're gonna be calling I don't know, Cardi B the oldies. And that's going to be our oldies. Oh, I love this. This will be the young kids don't like this one anymore. They like their new stuff. It's just
What's
like
WAP stand for?
Wow.
You're gonna love this, little lady.
oh, you're gonna let me put this one on for you.
This is when women were allowed to get wet.
Yes.
I also think for Stallone, because he's obviously he has some ability to do comedy, but it's a great way to have him do comedy by sort of being the straight like he's
man.
very good at being like, wait, what? Like that works very well to have him be the eyes into the bizarre world, and he's very good in this movie for Stallone because he's like, you've got the like kind of, like you're gonna regret this for the rest of your life. Oh, 2 seconds, whatever it
So
is.
good.
Got those lines. But then you also have, like you're saying, the knitting thing, that they keep getting good lines out of that. Like but his ability to be like, wait, what? Is like on fire.
I totally agree. It's like I was shocked to see him. These are comedic bits. I
Yes.
mean, like they're satire for sure, but like the knitting thing is like he sells it though.
He can't carry like a full-on comedy, which he tried to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, really. But he is able to he's good in this. He's got like good reactions because they've created such a bizarre universe for him to exist in.
It's like not quite parody, but almost there of
Yeah.
like the roles he always took.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah. And there are like, to the Schwarzenegger library thing, like, that's a very like obvious like wink of the times to their like feud or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the tone of the movie, you're like, that still works. I'm not like too far out of it,
It is. It's always on point. Like that's the perfect way to put it. That's straight man against this obnoxious world.
It's the fish out of water
You're
effect,
right.
and then like Sandra Bullock's character Huxley is like along with Stallone's character. It's our like liaison to learn more about the world.
Yeah.
and she kills it too.
Because she's so good, it's like it makes his job a little less difficult.
Yeah. Like she's
great.
almost setting him up for stuff.
She's so good in
Yeah.
this movie.
It was awesome when they were watching before they unthawed him, and she was trying to tell people like, "No, this guy's like, I've studied him. He's
Yeah,
so
right.
great." And they're watching the footage of him. And
The kid?
he go, "Fuck you, lady."
He's like, yeah.
That was because imagine them just being like, "What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's a great clip.
This guy, fuck you, lady."
That's a quick jab. It's
Yeah.
just a good little hit.
I want to turn speaking of unthawing, I want to talk about Simon Phoenix's unthawing and like just the idea that
Yes.
I know that there's there's the idea like, okay, it's a setup. He's being unthawed unjustly by this guy who has this grand idea to send a sadistic guy. I'm an unthaw sadistic guy.
Yes.
To go catch this Edgar Friendly guy that he's just such a pain in the butt.
Well, it's also when you realize they
Periscopes.
just go in the sewer and it's like, oh, it's all right here.
Oh.
Should have just taken the sewer cap up. I didn't realize probably could have saved the city $100 million.
Oh shit! You guys are on.
Wow.
Look at that. They're right. They're literally right under.
Literally
Just
right
They
there.
just want food. We could just give them food once a
They have
month.
a little carnival down here.
He's disrupting my utopia. It's like, no, you're just like, honestly, you're just not feeding half the population.
Yes.
And like that's the problem. And then I just think to myself, I'm like, why didn't he just go and look for somebody like John Spartan, who's like a cop from a different time? Why do you need a
Well, because the Spartan cop is like what we would ideally have in a cop, which is like someone who's like, yo, I have deep empathy for the poor, which is like he probably, it wouldn't have worked. But I think your point is well
You're
made.
right.
I also thought
You're
to
totally
myself,
right.
I'm like, I got caught on this for a minute where it's like, well, why would they be bringing up Simon Phoenix for parole? He's like you know what I mean?
It's like the worst of the worst.
But then you're like, well, obviously because the Cocteau or whatever his name is, he put that in there in order to unthaw. So, because that logic for a minute, I was like, why the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Have you learned anything? Like, no, I still love to kill and murder.
Okay,
and
freeze him
steal.
again.
Yeah,
and then it's like Shawshank, where it's like, have you been rehabilitated? And he's like, unless he's going to give us a Morgan Freeman speech.
yeah, right. Which should be amazing.
He's like, and you just have Wesley Snipes there, just rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Speaking of Morgan Freeman, Bill Cobb's? Do we know him
Yeah.
from stuff?
Yeah.
He's the one that plays the older Zachary Cobb. I love him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, we just did him in That Thing You Do. He was Bill Paxton, the jazz guy.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got a rap sheet
Del
of just
Paxton.
Del Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Bill
Bill
Paxton.
Paxton.
But
R.I.P.
it made me think that he's a very, like, I know we say this derogatory and I don't mean it that way, but he's kind of a Wish.com Morgan Freeman.
I
Like,
get that.
He can sort of be that guy.
He's great.
Like in an alternate universe, he's our Morgan Freeman. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what I was talking about yesterday. I want to see him and Morgan Freeman in a movie together.
Oh,
That's what I'm
man.
saying. you
Okay,
know?
good call.
Now, I had to make this reference now.
where they
because otherwise
basically
I'd forget.
just sit in chairs and talk back
Yeah,
and forth.
and then you're just like, it's like, what are they going to be? It's like two sides of a coin. You know what I
right,
mean? Like
yeah.
that kind of a thing.
Long lost brothers.
Long lost brothers,
Just
like
back together again.
exactly. Sorry, I had to get that one out there.
How about Bob Gunton? Bob Gooten?
Yeah.
He's the police chief Earl.
Speaking of Shawshank.
Speaking of Shawshank,
There has to be a universe where he's like the grandson of the Shawshank prison guy.
oh yeah, great.
Because that guy, I mean, the only things I know him from are Shawshank, and he was in Patch Adams. Do you remember Patch Adams?
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
He was the dean, and
Love that
he's
movie.
just like
He's just
he
a good
might be
prick.
one of the worst pricks of all
Yeah,
time.
he's just
And
a good
just
prick.
his face and his glasses, and he's incredible for this role.
Remember the guy, and he also, the what's the Back to the Future principal name?
Oh,
Mr. Strickland.
Mr.
But
Strickland.
I can't remember the guy's name.
I'm going to tell you a very quick story. When I was promoting, I think my album, I was booking a ton of podcasts to do, and one of them was a quiz show or something like that. And you were going to get quizzed on a topic, and I'd sent a few topics that would be good for me, like Seinfeld or whatever. And the guy was like, "We've done that, we've done that." And then I go, Back to the Future, I've seen that a bunch. And he's like, great. And so I agreed to do that. So before I go do this podcast, I was just doing so many. He was like, make sure you watch Back to the Future again before you do it. I didn't. And as I was about to go do this podcast, I got real high in my car. And then I got there and I was like, oh my God, there's a live audience. Like I just had no clue what I was walking into. So I walk in there to do this podcast, and the guys prepared all these questions, and literally the first one he asked me a question, like the girl I'm doing it with is doing Futurama. She knows everything. So, but then he asked me my first question. I'm like, nah, shit, I don't know, man. And he was like, most people normally knock the first one out of the park. Like he was really,
they're going to get harder.
yeah, he was like really disappointed with me early, and I was like failing. And then anyway, at one point he goes, all right, and he asked me the name of the principal. And thinking I'll know it. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, I don't remember. And he's like, well, he's on the phone. And I was like, what? And like he had the guy calling in. And he's like, sorry, our guest didn't know your name. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
So the principal had called in. And he's like, it's okay. Don't worry. And the guy was great, you know.
No
but
way.
yeah, it was so fucking awkward.
Of course, he was great, and you just have the guys just being condescending to
The
you.
guy hated me. Like the audience was very clearly like, and I failed on my end. I did not watch the movie, and I got real baked right before it, but I was bombing. And then they had the principal call in, and I was like, I don't remember his name.
They had him call in to basically like congratulate you for getting the question right.
Yes,
and
exactly.
You did.
Yes. It was like, way to go. Here he is. And instead I was like, what was his name? And I like probably made a joke at his expense, and he's like, well, he's here.
He's listening right now.
That's
Heard all that.
That is like, oh, and here comes James Tolkien, like,
Yeah,
like walking in through the door.
it
you
was
know?
bad.
That's his name, James Tolkien.
Yeah, it's him.
I was just gonna say it's like well it's funny you say that. We actually have a call in from Nigel Hawthorne. You don't know who Nigel Hawthorne is?
Here we
Dr.
go again.
Cocteau.
Here we go again.
Wow, Gareth.
Here we go again.
It's just flashbacks.
Yeah.
Well, let's do scene 3. So Spartan has trouble dealing with the modern world, but he has Huxley lead him to a museum and finds Phoenix looting an exhibit of weapons. Phoenix escapes and holds Cocteau at gunpoint, but is unable to kill him. Cocteau orders Phoenix to kill Edgar Friendly, the leader of the Scraps. Spartan first encounters the Scraps when they raid a dinner party given by Cocteau.
One thing.
Yeah.
Benjamin Bratt's character, is his name Alfredo Garcia?
Yes.
All right.
Flag it whenever.
And by the way, how good is he? He might be the most underrated character of this movie. Alfredo Garcia being the next partner to Sandra Bullock.
to Huxley.
They're in the car together where
Yes.
he's singing the song. The way back to that scene, the way they're singing that song and looking back at him like, yeah. He's so good.
He's great.
He's so good.
Yes.
These are what you would what would be like what you'd say
So
like
shocked.
Gen Z or something or whatever. They were born when this stuff was happening or it's like coming up, and they grew up with it. Whereas like all the older people aren't this bubbly, bouncy, childish quite as much as them, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
you do get to see like they're the young. The rookie team almost is what it feels like.
Yeah, right.
But I just love that for some reason they're the ones assigned to really break in John Spartan rather than like somebody from his era.
Well, they have him. Once you realize they have a friend of his in the department,
Thank you.
wouldn't that guy maybe be a little better? Be like, hey, John, you're about to have some real culture shock. Holy shit, you're old. Yeah, for sure. But let me walk you through what you're about
I
to
know.
do.
You're right. Like, why wasn't he the one?
Yeah,
to
he should be there. He should be the first thing he sees. Yo, where am I? Oh, hey. Oh, okay. Then they're like, hey, we love jingles from your era. What the fuck?
He's like, yeah, just.
By the way, you're gonna know how to knit. Don't freak out.
Here's the seashells.
Sex.
We got to talk about the
There's no
seashells.
more sex. By the way, sex is done.
They should have just taken him into
The
like
shells.
a room and been like, okay, just for an hour, we're gonna debrief.
Yeah, they basically go, here's your uniform.
Yeah.
Go into the
And
world.
he knew the guy.
He knew the guy.
Buddy's there.
He knew him. He was, and you just, it could have been an obvious thing for that chief to be like, oh, you know each other. Oh, okay, well, you just go and walk
You
with him.
also can't swear.
You can't.
There's a lot.
you want-
Alcohol's done.
Do you want the list of things that are
Yes,
illegal?
yes.
Alcohol, caffeine, smoking, drugs, meat, contact sports, bad language, child play, gasoline, uneducational toys, anything spicy, touching, abortion, and pregnancy.
This is what's so shitty. There's some things on that list where I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like some things
Like
on that
what?
list
What
I'm
are you
like,
cool
we
with?
need to do. I would be cool with banning meat.
Okay.
I love to drink. I mean, if you had we tried to get rid of alcohol, but there's a lot of it creates a lot of problems. Weed is now so much like weed culture. I think
Yep.
when you watch it, you're like, that's a little more chill. What were the other ones?
Gasoline,
Let's go.
contact sports.
Honestly, I'm good with it. I watched my Packers yesterday. A guy with a concussion get a
Ooh.
concussion.
Yeah, yeah,
and he's
yeah.
wearing the Guardian cap. I was
Yep.
like, Jesus Christ.
Uneducational toys, anything spicy. I'm not a spicy food guy, so get that fucking shit
No.
out.
I mean, I don't think it should be illegal.
No, it
But
needs to be.
honestly,
You're gonna I'm gonna be sitting there trying to just eat like, and where do you draw the line?
that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Oh yeah, because
Right?
my
That's the
spicy
problem.
is not your spicy.
Right. It's not like
Well,
we're-
you obviously have the panel of spice.
Yeah, I mean, if any
It's the
Indian
hot wings
restaurant,
host. He tells you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, sorry, Sean Evans.
there's gonna be we're gonna try this outlaw thing, and it's like an Indian restaurant where it's like, well, 5 stars is too much. That's illegal.
Don't make it
That's
race.
illegal.
It's not,
It's
a,
like-
it's not a race thing.
It's not a race
Not
thing.
a race thing.
I'm just saying it's a great context. Okay, I
Wait,
appreciate
what else
when
is
I
on
go
the
in.
list?
Alcohol,
this is so
caffeine.
hot, it
What
should
about
be
caffeine?
illegal.
I think I'm down to get crazy. I live
just-
in LA.
just get 'em-
Look at what's happening. Just get rid of it.
Get rid of. Yeah, really bad language is tough for me. Like I do like swearing a lot.
I
really
do
fun.
too.
Maybe we can make up new swear words
I like that.
like
That's
dongle,
Jarful.
jarful.
jarful. That's shit.
That
Yes,
means shit.
yeah.
Nice.
Well,
we
speaking
gotta go
of
take a
shit-
jarful.
What do you guys think the seashells are for? I mean, like,
I don't have an answer. It's driven me crazy my whole life, and I'm not kidding.
We've heard. You alluded to it earlier, but I think Stallone was like, "Well, you take one, you shit in it, and then the other one, you kind of scrape
I don't
everything
think you
out."
shit in one.
I don't. Yeah, he was like, "You take one, you shit in it," and I'm like, "That doesn't make any sense. You're on a fucking toilet."
Yeah, you shit in the toilet.
Yeah,
And then I would imagine the first shell is the heavy scraper shell.
Right.
which would.
It's not
your
great.
anus is gonna get.
yeah, and then
Mauled.
you're using the same ones as other people. Stallone said the first and the second are like chopsticks.
Oh,
to
he
pull
has a theory?
Stallone said that they're like chopsticks to come together to pull the feces out.
No.
And the third scrapes away remaining waste.
Race.
But well,
Yo, it's a controversial theory. It's an Ayn Rand sort of 3-shell idea.
Well, we don't see
misquoted.
color in this new world.
Yeah, utopia.
but the general belief is why they're making fun of them so much is that they're not actually used to pull the shit out or
No
to clean
way.
it. They're buttons for bidets. Hands free shit. Like
this
first
is
one
good.
like just pummets
It's like
the
the
fucking
Toto. It's the
butthole.
Toto.
Yeah, the second one's like a light spot-free rinse, and the third one's like a dryer or something like that. Because think of their society; they're hands off everything.
Yeah,
Man.
This
that's
is
true.
the most peace I've felt in quite a while. That actually really works for me.
Is that it? Did we do it? Are we gone?
I
I
have a gift for you then.
this is such an honor.
Wow.
This is so nice.
Now that you figured it out.
I go take a shit after the show. I'm like,
Yeah.
so one of the toilets is clogged with a 3-shell piece of paper.
There has to be someone in the world that loves this movie so much that their toilet has 3 shells on it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It has to be a thing.
Yeah.
That
I want
theory
it.
is really good for
It's
me.
just they're just butt.
They're-
That's why Rob Schneider making fun of him is so funny.
It's great.
This.
I can see how that would be confusing.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to know the shells.
shells.
Daniel Waters, the writer, he was trying to come up with something like for the bathroom to be different about the future, and so he was trying to come up with stuff and he couldn't think of anything. So he called his other buddy, is Larry Karaszewski, wrote a bunch of other movies and stuff, and he just so happened to be on the toilet, and he's like, I don't know, and he just looked over at like a bag of shells. He's like, shells, and that's how he came up with it.
Wow.
and they didn't want to, because I'm watching this for the first time going, oh, okay, we're gonna find out what the shells
yeah.
are, and they just said throw it in there and move on.
Make it the last line of the fucking movie. I mean,
Thank you.
that's yeah.
I to be honest, for the longest time, because I don't know, in like your grandma's bathroom or something, there was always a bunch of soaps that looked like seashells, and like,
True.
Yeah.
and that's what I always kind of thought of too. And I was like, maybe it's just 3 different kinds of soap. That's what I always got.
My grandma's
lost in.
bathroom always had
There you
seashell
go.
soap in it.
Yeah,
But
there were
walk
a lot of
yourself
nautical
through
themed
that.
bathrooms.
You're not going to be able to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're
Just
right.
leave all sudsy.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ew, gross.
Oh.
So you did mention his name, so I'm assuming. I think we are very close in age, so I'm assuming you know who Dan Cortez is.
Yes.
Do you remember? Did you guys know who Dan Cortez is? He's the one when they get to the Taco Bell. He's the one playing the keyboard and singing. He was singing
Jolly Green Giant.
Jolly Green Giant.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember him? Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was huge in the 90s.
I actually went on his Instagram a little while because I do this horrible ego game where I'll be like, do they have more followers than me? And I was like, how many does he have? You know? And
How
I was
many did he
like,
have?
Well, it's like when I beat him. It's weird when I beat him and I was like, whoa, Dan Cortez. Now I'm like, I'm better than Dan Cortez. But I'm not, you know. But no, he had the MTV Sports Show.
Yep, and like the Rockin' Jocks. or
Rockin'
something like
Jocks.
that.
He was on Seinfeld. He was he was very well known for a while.
He was for
A
Seinfeld
la
fans.
Dennis Leary, who also was an
Yes.
MTV kind of break in a way. So is Dan Cortez or Dan Cortese. I'm not sure which one.
I always thought it was
I
Cortez.
think it's Cortese.
Do you remember the Seinfeld episode he was on?
Oh my God.
It's one of the,
Oh,
if you guys
oh,
ever saw Seinfeld.
Oh
it's,
Tony. Oh Tony, don't. Yeah.
what was his phrase? Like step off or something like that?
George,
Step off.
Step off.
He was Elaine's like they called him a mimbo.
Yeah, he's the hunky boyfriend.
Hunky boyfriend who
And
was
George
dumb.
falls in love with him.
I think I've seen clips of it at least. Yeah.
And then George goes to his place to apologize after a rock climbing fall, a la cliffhanger.
George,
and
step
he's,
off.
Yeah, and he's just like, step off, George. And he goes, oh Tony. Oh, Tony, don't. It's the funniest line ever. But he also, and I picked this up at one point watching this movie and did again this watching. He's playing the piano. He's also a scientist who gets killed in the ending where the heightened ending where they're all having the fight in the cryogenic area. He at one point is killed by Wesley Snipes as well.
Oh, wow.
So
So he's playing 2 roles. So
Maybe
well,
this
well,
is a society where they kind of have multiple positions.
Well, I
and-
was gonna
Imagine.
say. I was gonna say that it's another
jobs.
thing.
2 jobs, imagine.
It's another thing they got right about the future.
oh my God!
Yeah.
Multiple jobs.
Well, he's an
Everybody has a
artist.
hobby.
Yeah, he's there. He's like, you should come to Taco Bell tonight. I'm actually playing some
He's
of
like,
the jingles.
hey,
Really, tonight?
yeah, I'm playing jingles down at Taco Bell tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh,
That's my
Which
favorite
Taco
song.
Bell? Oh, the one on West
The
Hollywood.
big one, yeah.
Yeah, the big one.
Wait, oh, the big Taco Bell? He's
No.
like, yeah, come on through. You know, he's like, it's a private event, but hey, come on. You know, I can get you in. I can get you in.
I got to knock off a little early. I'm actually doing a show tonight at Taco Bell.
Oh, you
Yeah, jingle stuff's been going pretty good.
still doing the
overall.
music thing?
Oh yeah, no, it's picking up. It's
Wow.
actually I mean, I love here, but you know, my dream is to do jingles.
Yeah,
Wow, man.
they
performance.
since I've been a waiter over there, they said I told them I was a musician, so they said I could do a couple sets.
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday
Cool.
nights.
So Tuesdays I play, and
Yeah.
then they're saying if it goes good, maybe Friday.
So
They nailed it.
I
They
hope-
nailed the
hoping
future.
Hoping for the best for you, man.
That's exactly what it
really
is.
Cool.
It's like, wow, this is L.A. in the future.
Totally.
He is moonlighting.
Yes.
And this is great.
And then he's killed. So
and then he dies at his
very
room.
LA.
If he would have just followed his dreams, he wouldn't have died.
Oh no!
But the Taco Bell, are we in the Taco Bell portion?
Yeah.
The Taco Bell being fancy is also such a great thing. It's the only one that survived the fast food wars. But
What a great line! Again, out of
Great.
context. The fast food or the
Yeah.
fast food, the restaurant wars, the fast
Franchise
food
wars.
franchise wars. Hilarious.
Great.
No context really given. It's just like, oh yeah, they're the only ones that survived. So everything's Taco Bell.
Move on.
But in LA, there was a Mexican restaurant called El Torito, which was like a sit down, like garbage restaurant, but still a step above Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And my first manager at one point was like, "Yeah, I'll take you guys out to lunch at El Torito in Beverly Hills," and I was like, "What?" and I always wonder if this is what it's based on. There was a fancy El Torito in Beverly. It had a different menu, and
But
it was
same
like
name.
same name and same brand. But it was like they made a fancy one in Beverly Hills, and I was
just
like,
jacked
so
the
when I
prices
went in
up?
there, I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh, he did invite us to a nice lunch. It's like,
Oh,
we'll be
so-
going to Taco Bell for lunch, and I was like, what? And it was like a fancy El
Damn.
Torito, yeah.
Which is strange though too, if you've got a fancy version and then also like a less fancy version, but it's Mexican food.
Yes.
Because so it's going to be tacos and you know,
Yes. But it was you were
enchiladas
like, I
and-
can eat the meat at this one.
it's like why are these more expensive and smaller portions? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah. But the one down the street from me was like garbage.
It's not rat. Yeah,
No.
rat at that one and rat at the other one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they wanted Burger King at first, and then they didn't want to do it, and then McDonald's just didn't want to be in an R-rated movie because Happy Meals and shit. But Taco Bell was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's go."
That's our brand.
Yeah.
So
live Moss.
Yeah.
I watched this movie twice, and remember this first time I saw it. First time I watched it, I rented it on Prime. I'm like, fuck yeah, and I watched it. I'm like, Taco Bell, this is so funny. My notes all Taco Bell. Then the next day, or 2 days later, my Prime had gone away. I rented it. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, of course.
And so then I went to the site that we go to sometimes, where it's free, you know, and I watched it, and it's Pizza Hut.
What?
It's Pizza Hut throughout the entire scene. They go to a Pizza Hut. They poorly overdub their voices. When they say Taco Bell, they say Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I get in there. The US version is Taco Bell. The European version is Pizza Hut.
Because they don't have Taco Bell.
Wow,
My mind
that
was
is
blown.
Crazy.
And they
That's
replaced the
Encino Man.
sign, too.
That is fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, the signs on
I mean-
all the walls are literally they filmed it twice.
Yeah.
So did they know this was going to happen?
Yeah, they knew because like Taco Bell wasn't a thing over in Europe, I guess, or like they didn't really.
Holy
They couldn't
shit.
conceive of the reality that a fast food Mexican restaurant.
Well,
would
they
be a
would
thing.
they would lose the joke maybe a little. Like they would come and be like, "We're going to Taco Bell for fancy dinner." And be like, "What?" Yes.
Yes. What's the,
I guess.
what's
With
the
Jim,
joke?
Yes.
Taco
nice
Bell's
silver-
awesome.
This is shithole. Where's Mater D?
Taco Bell to get noodles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, they just filmed it twice.
It
Interesting.
stopped me in my tracks.
That's crazy.
To watch, and how blatantly bad the overdub was too.
Well, if you're gonna shoot it twice,
That's
why
what
not
I'm
why
saying.
not cover just one, even if it's dog shit?
Just have them redo it and say Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
If we know this is going to happen, they walk past Pizza Hut signs on the door like this is the take
Also,
where we do.
well, they're
Pizza
gonna
Hut.
lose it on the Jolly Green Giant song. So what if they had Dan do another take where he's like, "What is this for?" It's called Collections Noodles. elves. Okay. Claption. He's the little elf.
If I could just play the Tetris theme, just do it.
Yeah, right.
That's interesting.
I want to talk about a little bit about the action in this movie too, because we kind of missed the whole gun arsenal, Hall of Violence.
Oh
scene,
Yeah.
which was so badass, and like the reference to like, oh, thanks Rambo, that kind of thing is really
awesome.
funny. But like, they like a lot of this movie went over budget and went over schedule quite a bit, and they blamed the directors as kind of his first movie. And Joel Silver defended him. He's like, it's not his fault. It's just a hard movie to make. And I got to kind of agree with him, to be honest, because a lot of like the action, it looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's all the glass breaking and everything. All the stunts look amazing. Like, I love this kind of set piece of like the Hall of Violence, and then they go down to another level
great
into
call.
like what is like today LA, I
A
guess.
street, what do they say? It's like a street scene of what it was like in the 90s.
Like a real thing of like the LA, like underground LA and stuff.
so they
and what
built
happened
that
after
was
the
a real
earthquake.
set. They built that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's sick in itself. Just to have that building there with all the guns.
If they
and-
just waited till today, they could have just shot it
They-
practically. It's funny too because it's like watching that movie as a kid, being like, not necessarily thinking that the Dennis Leary group are bad guys, but you know, they're a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, they're annoying. They're like fucking up perfect utopia. And then now I watch it and I'm like, okay, if I'm in this world, I'm 100% rat burgering in the sewer.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
like, let's take the fucking system down, you know?
100%.
Like, it's just very interesting as you grow older and you start, you know, your mind starts to go like to class and shit like that.
Yeah, I was like,
I
I'll
was
take my chance.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be down there trying to steal it.
It looks like a cool spot. It looks like they're kind of They got beers.
Yeah.
Like they're hanging. I don't know if they drink alcohol.
No, you
It's
can't.
illegal.
You
So
can't
they're
drink,
having. I'm
you
going
can't
to the,
have meat.
I'm going to the underground world.
Guarantee you there was fluid exchange down there.
Hell yeah, dog.
Get my little Hep C on down
Yeah.
there. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it was
Yeah.
fun stuff.
We
you
were
know?
sharing beers and stuff, you know, and like,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
But
None of this bullshit. It's more
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Gross.
the only,
You know what I'm saying?
the only thing that could have saved that Taco Bell meal was some alcohol. They didn't have that, and then you have, and you're 100% right though, because then you go down and you're seeing all this stuff. You get Edgar Friendly and giving his Dennis Leary rant.
Yes.
you know, classic rant style kind of a thing, and as a kid, you're like, oh man, you don't want that, right, guys?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
right.
want French fries with gravy on it. I want a burger. I want a juice to run down my throat. I want a beer. I want this. And it's just like, no, we don't want that.
Dirty people.
Yeah, they're dirty,
They
right?
really made them dirty, by the way.
And yeah, I know. It's just like, I don't even think they'd be that dirty down there. It's below this utopian place. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, I don't. Now I'm an adult, and I'm like, why are these the bad guys?
Yeah,
And
I think the movie does a good job of making them not the bad guys,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
think like my little kid brain was like, you know, and also they do a good job of making Stallone like is food.
Yeah.
They want food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And making the connection to cocktail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just really was rewatching it. Was like, man, I'm like completely on the Edgar Friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Twitter's like Edgar Friendly, basically. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm like, we gotta overturn the system.
Well, even like the up periscopes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
right.
And like the graffiti things
Yep.
that they do. I'm like, at first I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
But
They do a good job of that too.
Yeah, they do a really good job of like having that unfold. You're
Like kind of breadcrumb you a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the EF of the graffiti. I'm like, what's
Yep.
that? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and I also really like that. Edgar Friendly's character. We do kind of build up a little bit here for him to be like for him to be a bad guy or something. But I think what became really funny to me this time around is how Stallone or Spartan puts Friendly in his place. He's like, I hate to burst your bubble, but you're actually not that important.
Yeah.
No, we don't actually care about you.
Yeah.
You're like, he thinks he's like, oh, coming down to get old Edgar Friendly, huh? It's like, no, you're not that bad, dude.
Yeah.
He just kind of gets put in his place. It's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's like there's a sadistic dude on the loose now. There's the new evil is here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, that's the scene where Jack Black is in.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me where he's at again.
He's like
he's one of the people
he's
down
to
there.
the right of Dennis Leary. They like he pokes at Stallone for a sec, and he like swipes his gun away, and you can see his face in that shot.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like this, and then he was in Waterworld.
He was in Waterworld.
He
He was in the
is?
plane. He's in the plane.
Yeah.
One of the smokers'
Oh,
planes.
there he is. Yeah, he's
Oh,
right
that's
there
right.
next to Edgar Friendly. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was. I thought I was like, wait, what?
I wonder if he had any lines that they cut or anything.
Oh, maybe.
Because there's no way they just hired him as an extra.
Well, they see this.
Around
If
this
you think
time.
about the time of
But
where
even
he was
then,
at,
he would be
though.
like, yeah, but I don't think they would hire. I would be very surprised if he was an extra. I would imagine they hired him, and probably he had a line or two, and they cut it because.
Kinda like Jesse Ventura. I think
Also,
he probably
that
had a
was
couple lines.
completely. There's no way that Jesse.
that was
Ventura,
Jesse Ventura.
Yes, and there's no way he agreed to do this movie
Yeah, you're
without
right.
having some lines.
Yeah.
They just cut all his lines. I kept thinking that, like, oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was probably pissed.
Yeah, well,
he
he
probably
was
went to
in-
the fucking premiere and was like, what?
Running Man. he
There's
had plenty
no
of
way
lines in
that they cut all of my lines from this. I had a couple of bangers in there, and one or two of them would have worked.
I've been working on my improv lately.
I admit I riffed a little much in the cocktail murder scene, but come on, guy. It was my wife came to the premiere with me.
We took time out of our day.
Why did they fly me in for that humiliation? That's a stain on my legacy and probably a good kick in the ego nuts.
Jack Black's just like, fuck it, dude. Let's go get a beer.
This is awesome.
This is fucking awesome, man.
He's like,
Look at me.
I started a band called Tenacious D. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Jack Black's still sitting there at the premiere, like, there I am. There I am. Huh? Huh?
He's like, all right, everyone calm
But
down. Let's watch the movie.
I've
Let's
been
watch
in things where I've had lines and waited and been like,
Oh no.
oh no, this is a mortifying event now.
And they don't tell you that you
No.
didn't. Yeah.
no.
They're like, we need his ticket.
You get invited, and then you're like, yeah, I told people about this.
I told my mom.
Oopsie daisy.
Well, boys, we already kind of like pretty much made it through scene 4, so I'm not even going to read scene 4. There is part of this scene that we're in here is the virtual sex scene, though.
Oh yeah. We got to talk about this.
Do you think? At first, I'm like, yeah, I'm like Stallone. This is stupid. Like, we got to exchange fluids. We got to do this. But if you stop and really think about it, like, yes, sensual touch, like touch is great, and feeling of touch is great, but the mind is more powerful than your other senses, really. And if you look at Stallone here, Spartan, I think he really likes it. I just think he's scared because he's never actually felt this before.
It might be. I was thinking like it might be too much feeling. Like he might be
Ooh.
going through too much all at once right now. I don't know.
I don't know. I would definitely see it through. I wouldn't rip it off.
Did you see
With
how
Sandra Bullock?
Did you see how she immediately like goes to
Yeah,
put it
she's
back?
like, put it back on.
Come
I
on,
would
go
be
on,
like,
go
all
on.
right, all right, we'll finish this. Now let me talk to you about jerking off.
Let's try it both ways.
I'm going
and
to tell
see
you
which
about a
one's
hand
better.
job after this. All right, let's finish this, though. Let's do your way.
Did you already finish? We don't finish. We
Yeah.
just keep
We
going.
actually don't finish bodily fluids.
Yeah.
No seashells here, but I think my theory is that it's probably better. Like it is probably one of the things of this world that is actually better.
The images looked great.
Yeah.
It was like all the flashing like
There's
disco.
boobies in there, too.
There is a
Like-
nipple. I will be honest. I watched that and I was like, no way, it's her nipple.
No, definitely not.
But still, what a great gig for that person.
Yeah.
It's great. You know, it spread the wealth around a little bit.
They didn't
What are you
cut
doing?
that.
I'm in Demolition Man. Any lines? Just a nip.
Two.
Just two nips.
Just showed one. Yeah, I just did it. I feel like this is not very good for like if somebody is like has epilepsy though. There's got to be
No.
something else.
You're right.
I mean, there's risks with sex, like if you have a heart condition or whatever, that kind of thing. I get it, but epilepsy now becomes an issue.
Well, they
and
got rid
that's-
of epilepsy.
yeah,
right
they
now.
got they stopped.
they
They
did.
stopped all the
Yeah.
bad
Oh,
stuff.
good.
You're
They
good.
didn't cure it. They just got rid of everyone who has it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you would be
Okay.
shot.
Yeah.
Any epileptics go. They were in the sewer with Friendly. We found a community. No strobes.
You mean to tell me that all those poor people now just had to go down there because they're epileptic.
Yes, that is exactly
And,
why.
like,
No bright lights.
And like they come up to like as this army later on of just like yeah, let's do something. And the moment they see lights, like everyone just goes, oh
Jesus Christ. Well, half our people are gone.
oh no.
He had a strobe.
There's
It's a new
lights.
term for their seizures. The
There's no
epileptic
lights
seizure.
down there anyway. Like
Yeah.
now we see one light, we just go crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
my question is, if you just put one on, can you do yourself?
maybe it is that
it has to be.
That'd be great.
that's like it's just a
What do you see,
Or can
though?
you-
It's
or if-
you? This is weird.
If you like,
swamp, swamp.
Just, you're seeing yourself jack off. I wish this. Would love to see a woman.
Oh man, I didn't
It's actually pretty pathetic.
want this in third person.
It's super sad to watch.
Just you,
So what does it
but-
look like
it's
from
a
behind?
wide-angle shot of you just sitting on a
You,
couch.
you see your ass cresting on a couch.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I imagine just like cross-legged,
Guts
like,
hanging over.
sitting Indian style on the ground, just like
Jesus Christ. I really only do the tip, huh? That's weird.
God, is
I'm a
that what
big
I
tip
look
guy.
like?
This is
Oh
horrible.
my goodness.
That's when I'd take it off. Never mind. Jesus, that was horrible.
Is there going to be mess? You know what I mean? Is there less mess?
I wonder if you
Is that-
mess.
you
That would
know?
be, if you mess, I'm out. If I'm just coming in my pants, like that's cool, but
Like,
Jesus Christ.
you could, and like, what if? And she didn't tell him about that either. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you're about to, but it's gonna happen. in your pants.
nutted in my weird pants.
Which seashell do I use for the?
yeah. She had her
It's like,
cum
Use
roll
the
on.
conch. There's a conch shell in there for cum.
Don't.
There's a conch.
Wait, is that what you masturbate with?
It's a sand dollar you know, that your grandma.
Don't put your ear up to that one.
I just nutted a bunch. What the hell?
That's 40 years of nut waiting to go, by the way, guys.
don't-
Which is also what I imagine that shit was probably like that.
Yeah.
For the first thing he does, like, I'm going to take a shit. Like,
Don't
holy-
use.
Oh, damn! I didn't think about
That's the
that.
first thing he did.
Great point.
Don't use the third seashell. That's for the. That's for the helmets. It's like.
Yo, I clogged your future toilet. The food's from like 40 years ago that was in me.
Yeah, because he just ate
They
before.
didn't empty me.
They still gave him a final meal.
20 years after the cryogenic freezing, we enemed them, but he was before then. Look out.
He was the before
Plus,
times.
look at him. He's full of protein. It's going to be like a green snake.
Can I just say, speaking of like all the things they probably got wrong, they got wrong anyways about the cryogenic. They didn't let him evacuate the bowels or anything like that. But there's this mention though, and this is maybe like the scariest thing about this entire movie is that how he mentions that he's awake the entire
Yeah,
time
like that.
somehow.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a nice. That's very true. It's a nice little. It's another nice little wrinkle of like they taught you how to knit, but you're awake, so you're in hell, and this guy doesn't give a shit.
And you can see it's like when we did Frost, the Frosty the Snowman. What did we just Hot Frosty?
Frosty.
Yeah.
We did Hot Frosty.
One more
Don't
time.
judge
Just
us.
let's all take a minute, do the 30,000-foot overview of the world you're living in. When we did Frosty, what was it? Frosty,
Hot
fucking
Frosty,
Hot
I
Frosty.
can't remember.
There it is.
But like, if you never saw that shitty
So many
movie,
Frosties.
the snowman comes alive, but it's implied that he's alive, like seeing the world around him. That was like him
That's
in this
hell.
in this
True.
fucking thing. He said he saw his wife like banging on the ice. You're like, Jesus Christ, man.
Lord.
They also do tease the daughter he has that he won't see. That's kind of a strange little hanging Chad they keep in there.
Yeah, it's like
She won't want to see me.
it's very
Yeah.
weird to
She
think
will.
about because like she's like your wife has passed away, and then but no, your girl is out there somewhere. Your daughter's out
I'm
there somewhere.
good.
I don't want to see her.
That's fine.
I got to complete this mission. All right.
Don't
Like,
worry. I'm good.
What if? There you
She'd
go.
be cramping my style.
Jesus Christ.
Trying to get with Sandra Bullock.
Trying to
here.
get with Huxley over here.
Yeah.
It's like, little do we know, it turns out Huxley is actually his daughter.
I was thinking.
No.
I wonder if they ever went down that road.
They
with it.
had to.
Let's-
that makes so much sense.
Let's
They
be
all
real,
avoided
guys.
it.
Like she's studied John Spartan.
Yeah.
She's 35 years old.
Probably in the
to
right
40.
age range.
She's obsessed with the 90s.
the era and that kind of cop world.
Wants the
very
action.
interesting version of it, which is very would work. I think would work.
You know?
and I say you keep the sex scene.
Yeah, well,
I
of course.
say
Hold on, they're in Arkansas.
They didn't touch. They really only kissed. All right.
Technically, there's nothing wrong.
That's why you do the headset, guys.
Because we just don't know in the future.
Yeah, there's no fluid transmission, which has always been my issue with incest. Is the transmission fluid? Everything
know what?
outside of that, I feel like is pretty. I'm okay with it.
You know what? You're right.
Good lord.
In hindsight, thinking back, that is the biggest problem with it.
It's the touching. Nobody wants to get molested by an ant. Now, put a headset on. I'm listening.
That's why you put the headset on, guys.
All right. Come on.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you don't want to bang your dad.
Come on.
Come on.
You know, some people are okay with that mistake. Other people aren't. We just decide to just get rid of the idea and just say, put the helmet on.
You don't have to put the helmet on. Put the helmet
Put the helmet on. We don't want to be raw dogging him.
Let's final scene here. Right. Unable to harm Cocktail, Phoenix has a minion kill him after incapacitating
By the
Huxley.
way, that's an error.
Yes.
If you're Cocteau and you've gone through, like, that is one of the plot flaws I find in this. You've gone through all this to make sure that you're not going to get killed by the Wesley Snipes guy, and then you thaw out 8 other fucking murderers, and you're like, we did everything. Did I make sure that they can kill me? No, whatever. Either way.
Did I program them? Yeah. I think we did.
Do we put that clause in there?
Yeah.
No? Oh, well.
Not
A bit of an oversight.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah,
right?
It's like not only did you release this guy, you programmed him to like know everything about this world now.
Yes.
You know, and he's the most dangerous person in the world.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd put that in the
Yeah,
program.
you'd think that'd be part of it.
Spartan battles Phoenix, whom kills him, then decapitates him. The uncontrolled quick freezing effect triggers an explosion that destroys Cryo-prison. Huxley and Spartan kiss as father and daughter, and then depart together. I had that in my notes.
You're great.
We usually do a punch.
good kisser. Makes sense. You're so good at it.
It was like kissing myself.
Kind of weird, huh?
And I'm not against that.
That is great. Yo, that was awesome. Yo, I love to kiss my daughter Huxley. That's the shit right there. I need new future pants.
I can't.
I love kissing my daughter and knitting sweaters.
I just
That's what
made
I
a
do.
fluid transmission in my jockey.
Yeah. Hey,
Yo.
I
Hey,
can't.
yo.
I can't.
Hey, my pants look like that goo they froze me in right now, yo. Hey.
yo.
Yo.
I'm
you
not just a
kidding me?
southpaw fighter. I'm a southpaw. Well, you
Yeah,
know, you know where I'm
hey,
going
look
with
out,
it.
huh? Oh, my Lord. Oh, hey. I just foamed my car. Yo, you know what I mean? Holy wow. Oh, wow, why? Hey.
Guys, I can't. We've done it. I think we got to the spot.
I'm just gonna say this.
Helmet's not even on, Mike. Jesus.
Oh my god. Put the helmet on me.
The helmet. It's just get rid of the risk. And, put on the helmet. What if Spartan just like shows up the next day constantly wearing the helmet? He's just like with a juice
goes to
box.
work.
Just like, hey guys. So anyways,
John, are you gonna make any moves on Phoenix today? Fuck. John Spartan, you will find 5 credits.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Yo, get the shells. Oh, my God.
the shells. There's a cleanup on aisle shelf
My
3.
Lord, holy Christ.
Get the shell.
Get the
Simmons, get the goddamn helmet off him.
Don't touch it. Not now.
Hey,
yo,
It's the
another
best part.
round.
hey.
Unbelievable.
Hey.
Wow.
It is very from the beginning. It's a very Stallone. Go ahead.
I'm just.
You keep going. Keep
Always wearing that
You're
helmet.
living in it.
I can find him and wear the helmet.
Well, you seem very distracted, John.
I can do both.
He's like a little kid who has an iPad
Yeah.
constantly. He's just like, what?
Look, if we get closer to Phoenix today, you can wear it for 10 minutes.
Yo, you promise?
You promise?
Dude,
Just-
all I'm thinking about is that fucking fuck helmet.
he's
That
just
thing's the best.
he's just in the back seat with like a booster seat and the helmet on.
I can't drive.
Has anyone talked to him today? I tried to get the helmet off. He bit me.
Yo, oh my, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's
I want to
doing,
go to Taco Bell.
Oh,
doing
so good.
doing action scenes, but like
Yeah.
Pretty easy to kick his
Always
ass.
coming.
Oh.
Just trying to shoot.
Hold on. Wait. Take a break. I'm nutting.
This actually makes this is funny, but this makes sense because imagine 90s you being transplanted to today,
it would-
and you would never set phones down. You would never do anything. You'd
like,
just be like,
Gareth
"Ah!"
lives in a box where he just jizzes all day.
all the porn you can watch on your phone.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not far off to think this is what would happen.
No.
He would just obsess over the helmet.
I just
He would.
There'd be rules. No helmeting in public.
right.
Oh, fuck. He's the first person ever to take his helmet in public. They're like, don't do
All
that.
right, so we got to come up with new laws now for when to wear the helmet. No driving with the helmet on, for God's sake. Why'd you hit him so hard?
I was nutting.
I couldn't slow down.
I didn't mean to. I lost control because I nutted hard again. I should have gone to self-drive so I could nut more. I thought I could do
The
everything.
car filled up with foam and my pants did too.
Sorry, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Insurance is a mess.
With a policy.
They have a helmet.
Texting while driving.
The helmet policy.
Keep your eyes on the road. Don't helmet.
Talk about progressive.
Ah, all right.
But it's,
I just want to keep talking about that.
I know.
the best tangent we can have.
It really is. There is one thing that I wanted to see if you guys noticed this. It's the moment that Spartan does in fact go in to confront Cocteau. I hate his name. But he goes in to confront him, and he's like in the it's like in the conference room. It's like, sorry I couldn't be there in person. Here's all the little screens, and he shoots them all out. And then, like, by the way, he looks over, and he's sitting right there.
That was a bad move.
Oh, the only thing separating them is a huge glass window.
wall. And
He's right there.
It was quite careless.
You just like, sure, his chair was turned around or something.
He thought that was going to be enough. Someone who worked for him was
He's
like,
like,
I can't see
I'm the
you.
bad guy.
I think you're okay,
and
actually.
Yeah.
he's like, and he's trying to talk really quiet so it doesn't echo into the.
Yo, I think I hear your voice coming from.
He's like,
Wouldn't be me. I'm actually in the Bahamas.
yeah, well,
Fuck.
wait a second. I hear your voice.
I gotta
in
go.
echo.
I got Taco Bell.
No, you shouldn't.
No. I definitely hear your voice.
Just put the helmet on.
Okay.
They distract him with the helmet.
Put the helmet on.
That's how Cocteau actually wins this battle. Is they just keep giving him the helmet.
All
Like,
right,
he'll be
fine.
fine.
All right,
He'll be
cool.
fine.
He's just like,
We gotta go get Phoenix today. That was 5 years ago, John. You have a beard. You've been sitting in this apartment nutting all day.
Yo, I feel very dehydrated.
You've
Yo.
gained 50 pounds.
I am I feel like I lost 50 pounds. Yo, look at my future pants.
Which,
Well, you get the best line in the movie, in my
I
opinion.
didn't know what
is-
shell to shave with.
is be well, be fucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Be
man,
A good line.
It's so good.
With a helmet.
Yeah. Be helmet fucked.
What kind of fuck? Yeah.
Put a helmet on. I'll show you.
Yeah.
What?
There are some very good lines. Like that. I was making fun of it, but like,
You'll regret this decision for the rest of your life. Both seconds of it.
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
The one,
it's not bad.
The one where they are having the fight in the Hall of Violence. He like twirls a TV at him. He's like, "You're on TV."
Can I say my favorite line of the movie is Wesley Snipes? My favorite line of the movie when he's thawing all the evil guys and he goes, Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that guy. That made me laugh
Pretty
so
good.
fucking hard.
That's a little too soon,
It's
too.
also like Jeffrey Dahmer's should not be part of your elite killing crew. Like they
Yeah.
just be like, Jeffrey, did you eat all of those guys? He'd be like, I did. It's a weird skill, but you're part of the crew, I guess.
I've been frozen for so long. I'm hungry.
famished. I'm famished.
And the first thing I see beyond the helmet
All these supple men.
is just
They look great.
these well-fed.
He's eating the cooked kato from the fireplace.
This guy is unbelievably good.
Yeah, that took a little turn there where they're like, we kill him and we just throw him into this giant fireplace.
Another log
They're
on the
evil.
fire.
Yeah.
That's
They're
what he
evil
said.
men.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. Like at this point, I think that the battle scenes are pretty. The fight scenes are pretty good. It's very reminiscent. By the time we get to this point, though, it's very reminiscent to me of like Street Fighter the movie.
It starts,
And
to
I don't
get
know
there.
if anybody is familiar enough with that cut, but man, it really feels like this final battle of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of in this mode of like, Okay, fine. That big claw thing.
Not great. And also this is a big problem with all movies from the 90s is not one bullet hits this motherfucker. Like, he is shooting, he's shooting a machine gun at it.
Yeah.
Carelessly, and not one hits him.
No,
Throughout the whole movie.
I mean, again, if you have a problem with the bad guy not just shooting the good guy in the head, you're going to really find some problems with movies from this era.
Yeah.
You can't watch James Bond. There's just a lot of movies you're not going to be able to watch.
Just not going to be able to
Any
do it.
fire escape may as well be Kevlar. It's just like the bad guy's like, Jesus Christ, it's a maze for my bullets. No, it's like great. It's fucking great.
It's true. And like the whole time of him just like spinning around like he's in some sort of claw machine just and he's getting shot at and he like does the freezy thing.
The freezy thing is,
and I don't know, like this it is the part of the movie where I'm like, we don't have to do all of this, guys.
I think that's the right point. I hadn't really thought, but it is. You're kind of a little checked out on that last scene.
Yeah,
A little.
I like the way it ends. I
Yeah.
like the freezing of him. I like the way he uses that. But
kicking off his head is
yeah,
super cool.
but also
yeah.
the way that they would find in all these movies a way to make it fisticuffs is like, you know what I mean? Like it always is like, well, they got to have a punching war.
They got to have the final battle.
Yeah, so there you go. But I mean, with that being as it is still. I like the ending where he freezes him and you see his head. By the way, my note would have shattered on the first bounce, but we want to see the bounce up again.
We got to get the bounce. Then
But
the
then it is
shatter.
weird to be like, there's a lot of blood in that head. That icy blood.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah, that's a good point. The kick to the head, it's fine. I'll just say that. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am
don't
I
like
fine?
it.
I don't know if I'm
You're
fine,
fine
with
with
it.
it.
I'm fine with it. Fine.
It's a bloodier, more gorier Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
It
That kinda
does.
kill.
Maybe that's what I kept thinking too was kind of gonna happen. Like we were gonna like, way to go, John Spartan. Oh, good salutations. And then like you look back and it kind of pans back down. You just see, and all melts together again. Maybe that's just where I was waiting. And then it just melts
But his
itself.
brain's all wonky. Phoenix, how are you doing? Did you get it the bad guy? Get it the bad guy? He's not where he was before.
Friendly.
He hasn't been the same since his head shattered.
He hasn't been- give him the
The
helmet.
doctor did what he could.
Jeffrey Dahmer's
Has he
my
tried the helmet
favorite.
yet?
What would happen if we put the helmet on Spartan and on Phoenix?
Yep.
Or Dahmer. He's just like
Dahmer.
eating ribs. Jeez, Jeffrey, take that off.
In his helmet.
Jesus Christ, Jeffrey.
Oh.
So the helmet is not. Yeah, the helmet just takes what you're already thinking and what you want to happen, and it makes it real, right?
yes,
So Jeffrey's just
Jeffrey
eating.
Dahmer. That's the cop going like, "Well, I guess we'll have a good night, sir." Tim putting a skull on a shelf. I ate him.
Oh my God. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about before we give this a modern day rating?
I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
All right, well, Gareth, we talked about this movie from a modern day eye. We had some laughs. After rewatching this and giving it the treatment we did, what do you think your rating is of this? What were your final thoughts?
Well, it is one of. It does feel like it's still one of those action movies. It's after the tropes are getting a little bit tired with some of them, but I do love, like I said, like just from a script angle, I think the script is really good. I think you've got like Sandra Bullock is great. There are very few holes. They've really thought it out. I like the way that the Edgar Friendly plays into the fake utopia. There's just a lot of good shit. That being said, it is like, it is that kind of like one-liner action movie in a lot of ways as well. And, there's a lot of like, it's very over the top. If I were to see this movie today, I would be like, this is so-so. But the nostalgia does help it. So I would probably land right around the Rotten Tomatoes area. I would probably give it like a 6.5 or something like that.
Okay.
6.5 from Gareth. AJ, what about you, man?
Oh gosh, I think I'm in the same boat. I think the nostalgia helps on this. So I don't know what you guys are gonna do, but like it does because it's telling the way the movie is put together and it's shot and it just is what it is. It's very telling of the 90s that it was made. It is a product. It is such a obvious product of its time, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the threads are showing of the time. And I don't mean that in a good or bad way. I just kind of is what it is. But I think the one that shows is mostly around some of the sets that I don't really like. It feels a little bit too much like a Universal Studios kind of a thing to me. Looking at it, and that's fine. I think it's still a super fun action movie. I mean, and you've got two great action stars just going against each other. It's awesome. It's super fun if you just let yourself have the fun. And you know, I think I will give it. I think I'm at a 6.3.
6.3. Sean,
Yeah,
what about you, man?
I had a really good time with this, guys. I gotta be honest. This is like my kind of action movie.
Hell yeah.
And I know that this might be like recency bias towards it, where I'm just, you know, you see it when it came out, I'm sure you're like, fuck yeah, dude. And I'm kind of like, fuck yeah, dude. Right now, I think it's really well made. I think it all kind of holds up. I agree that there's like some flubs here and there that don't really work. I agree that like once the ending starts to come, you're just like, all right, yeah, I get it. I get it. But I agree with you as well, Gareth, that it's like the script is fantastic. I think like Daniel Waters, he did Heathers. I think he's a great satirical writer in specific. You know.
Yeah.
And all those elements really, really work for me. And I think Stallone, like I was so surprised by his comedic chops along with Sandra. And I know I hear they're like good friends.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
they like try and work together as much as they can. I was taken with it. I'm a 7.7 on this.
Nice.
Damn, 7.7. Yeah, I mean, first time watch, I didn't know what to expect. At first, I was like, this movie's garbage. Like, I was just like, this is fucking hilarious garbage. The more I thought about it, well, this is my Wesley Snipes too. This might be my favorite. We just did Blade, and I almost like Wesley Snipes better in this movie than I did Blade. It's not a better movie than Blade, but then Sandra Bullock, man, just kills it. Stallone's okay for me. You guys are like, Stallone. It's like they could have maybe got away with somebody else in that position, but he does a fine job. I like the angle they went with. I like kind of the world they created. Yeah, I think I'm a straight up 7 on this one.
Nice.
Straight up 7, just a plain old 7.
It's a movie.
I'm gonna say this. I'm actually shocked that I am the lowest.
Yeah.
I couldn't decide on 6.6 or 6.3. I'm glad.
Do you want
I'm
to make
where I
a
am.
change?
No, I think I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Well, as a group, we're a 6.88, and if you look at any movie we've ever done on this show, 6.88 falls in all by itself at 131st space. It's not as good as Grumpy Old Men,
That's tough.
but it is better than Blade.
What? That is crazy.
It is
Blade
better.
is awesome.
It is better than Blade, my friends.
I'm glad.
Really?
Ah,
Yeah, I am.
Sean.
I really am. I really am glad. Like, Blade it's a fine movie, and I like the Blade movies. Actually,
Yes.
I do. But I'm glad that this came in just above that.
Yeah.
It's my Wesley Snipes, and that's the win I want.
Yeah.
Fine.
Sean, it's okay.
It's the trench coat trinity, Gareth.
Yeah, no.
It's Blade, The Matrix, and The Crow. It's like those are my movies.
Every like 3 months, we allow ourselves to do a couple re-ratings, like
Okay,
to
good.
see. Like every once in a while, you look at your scores, you're like, "Holy shit, I was in a bad mood that day." Fuck,
Right.
That movie's way better
That's
than that.
very funny.
So,
Movie mulligans.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. Next week, we got Super Troopers. Following that, we got Iron Eagle. And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. We did Road Trip. Road Trip,
Great.
solid early 2000s comedy. Gareth, it was so great to see you at the show last night. It
Yeah.
was so great to have you in our town and for you to be on the show again twice.
Well,
It was amazing.
Thank you for having me, and I think the legacy of this episode is the helmet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, also, it's movie roomies.
Movie
We will be
roomies.
remotely doing that show with you.
Fuck, I'm in it. Oh, fuck, we're gonna hate it. I'll be like, you guys will be like, where is he? And I'll be like, all right, we gotta just quick. Sorry, guys. Can we,
I'm in
we
Topeka
roll right
tonight.
away? Yeah. I'm living hell on the road. All right, let's do this real quick. I haven't finished the movie, but pretend I did. Are we going? Logan, are we ready? Okay. All right. Oh, turning it up. Having fun.
Oh man.
Seriously, go to GarethReynolds.com. Check him out on
We have
socials.
Principal Strickland on the phone for you too.
Fuck.
this guy again.
He's back. Yeah, Gareth's coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. You got to see him. It's well worth your time. Bring 12 friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Thank you,
We're outta
sir.
here. Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.